I have a city in the desert. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 451. Anna starts live broadcast. Chairman ZHU, can I interview you? Can the bet between the Live Broadcast Association and Sahara Live be fulfilled now? Chairman ZHU, what do you think about the fact that you invited so many celebrities, but the result is not as good as a newly established small website? Excuse me, do you have anything to explain? Chairman ZHU, do you regret banning Jiang Chen now? I heard that many internet celebrities want to sign with the Sahara Live platform. Will the Live Broadcast Association really ban them? Although it was late at night, there were still hundreds of reporters gathered at the entrance of the SYNOPSIS Live platform headquarters. When the reporter pointed the microphone at ZHU's face turned pale. I won't accept interviews today. ZHU's wanted to walk towards his car after he finished speaking, but a group of reporters surrounded him, and he couldn't move at all. Does not accepting interviews mean admitting defeat? Some people say that you are the last hope of the ZHU group. The ZHU group has invested all its money in you. May I ask if you have already admitted defeat now? I admit defeat, your mother. ZHU's was already angry, and when the reporter said this, he immediately burst into swearing. It was this swear word that quickly made him a hot topic on Baidu.com. It's fine if you don't admit defeat, but why are you still swearing? Are you from the ZHU group desperate? Okay, let's stop the interview today. It's not that easy for him to beat us. Tomorrow, when Jiang Chen stops live streaming, I'll see how he can beat us. After saying this, the vice president of SYNOPSIS Live covered ZHU's and got into the car. After ZHU's got into the car, the reporters chased him for a long time, but couldn't catch up, so they had to give up. Late at night, when all the celebrations were over, Jiang Chen returned to his Sakura Bay villa. He lay on the bed and opened his mobile phone to check the news. In less than half a day, Mega News was filled with a bunch of news that he hadn't read. Tourism news. The paradise on earth is really a paradise on earth. Jiang Chen, the #1 outdoor live broadcaster, led everyone into a different world. It is understood that this scenic spot, known as the Emerald Lake Night World, has been pushed to the top of the Baidu.com hot search list. Special Zone newspaper. Every frame is a beautiful picture. With the release of the posters of the World of Heroes, My Sahara Story Network has now become one of the hottest forums in China. Breaking news. According to incomplete statistics, the photos of the Emerald Lake scenic area on My Sahara Story Network have been downloaded nearly 50 million times. Northern Morning News. With the launch of Mingsha Mountain, the World of Heroes and the Emerald Lake, the giant column cactus forest scenic area will probably surpass the desert grassland scenic area to become one of the most popular scenic areas of the Sahara Scenic Area Group. Jiang Chen Entertainment newspaper. With the success of Sahara Live, several live broadcast platforms under the China Live Association ended the day's live broadcast with dismal clicks. The reporter interviewed ZHU's the president of the China Live Association, and ZHU's who was furious, cursed in front of the reporter without caring about his image. Early news. Whether Sahara Live can really defeat the China Live Association depends on Sahara Live's battle report tomorrow. It was late at night. Jiang Chen closed his eyes, and he began to think about the content of tomorrow's live broadcast. Tomorrow he was going to live broadcast Haitang Town, but compared to Emerald Lake and the World of Nights, Haitang Town seemed much more ordinary. It's definitely not enough to just live broadcast the scenery. We have to find something else to live broadcast. Speaking of live broadcasting something else, Jiang Chen couldn't think of it for a while, so he had to give up. So Jiang Chen, who was tired all day, lay down on the comfortable bed and fell asleep. The next morning, when Jiang Chen woke up, Xia Heidong called him with a look of surprise. Jiang Chen stretched and answered Xia Heidong's call. Hello, what's the matter with Leo Xia calling me so early? Brother Kang has good news for you. I have thought of replacing your traffic leader. As long as she starts live broadcasting, it will definitely set off the internet again. Xia Heidong couldn't hide his surprise in his words. When Jiang Chen heard that he could find a host who was better than himself, he was stunned for a moment. No matter how he thought, he couldn't think that China could have such a number one figure. Who are you going to find to replace me? Anna. As long as Anna is willing to do a live broadcast, she will definitely kill you in an instant. Ahem. I don't mean, well, I mean, Anna will definitely have a lot of people watching her live broadcast. After Zahedong finished speaking, Jiang Chen really wanted to beat him to death. Can you *CKING talk? What do you mean by killing me in an instant? Do you look down on me, the number one outdoor live broadcaster in China? And you bastard, I took the trouble to advertise for you and help you with investment. Not only did you let me work for you, but you also let my family work for you. Do I have to do a live broadcast for you after I have a son? No, don't think so much. Anna will not do a live broadcast for you. Brother Jiang, Anna has agreed. I have convinced her, and I'm going to let her try it this evening. Now all my publicity work has been done. I tell you that, if you hear that Anna is going to do a live broadcast online, the news is better than what you put on. Ahem. The news is the same as your live broadcast. Jiang Chen was also a little surprised when he heard that Anna actually agreed. Anna has not yet recovered from her brother's death. How can she agree to Zahedong? Wait a minute, I'll go talk to Anna. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, he washed his face and drove towards Anna's residence. Anna still lives in a villa close to the tourism college on Cherry Blossom Avenue. Jiang Chen specially chose this villa for Anna because the tourism college has the Sahara core station there, and he can also take care of Anna's safety. After rushing to the villa where Anna lives, Jiang Chen opened the door and saw that the wooden villa like a courtyard was full of cherry blossoms. Brother Jiang, it's good that you are here. I have good news to tell you. Now I have signed the entire dance team. They will have live broadcast activities here every month. Brother Jiang, don't worry, I will pay them every month. The Sahara dance team does not have many performances now. Their performances are mainly concentrated in the annual meeting. Now it is still a long time before the Chinese New Year, so everyone is free. After Zahedong finished speaking, Jiang Chen saw Anna sitting next to Mu doing the room. There was a moving figure sitting next to Anna. It was none other than Zukin, the leader of the dance team. Anna, have you agreed to Zahedong to work as a host in his company? Jiang Chen ignored Zahedong. After all, this guy was a gifted speaker. He could make anything come alive if he told him a lie. Jiang Chen walked into the room. There were many people in the room. These were the sisters in the dance team. They were all good sisters with Anna. Now they didn't have any performances, and Anna was injured again, so they all came to chat with Anna to relieve their boredom. Well, I have agreed to Manager Zaya. Manager Zaya is right. Only when people are busy can they realize their own value. I'm in the scenic area every day, doing nothing. I feel that every day is torture. If I can also make some contributions to the scenic area, maybe I can get out of the shadow soon. After Anna finished speaking, Jiang Chen saw that Anna was not forced by Zahedong to start the live broadcast, and he was relieved. Okay, since you want to find a job, you can do a live broadcast. If you want to do a live broadcast, don't go far, just stay in the wooden house town. I'll find some bodyguards to follow you later. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Anna shook her head and said, I don't want to do a live broadcast in the wooden house town. The one in the evening was my first live broadcast. I want to broadcast a place that no one has ever seen. Chapter 452 You Can Be Laid Off. Anna's live broadcast debut. She took it more seriously than anyone else. Jiang Chen doted on this little fairy, so when Anna said she wanted to go to a new scenic spot, Jiang Chen immediately thought of his begonia town. Begonia town is full of white begonia flowers, and there are quaint wooden buildings. Plus Anna who looks like a fairy. Maybe it will really be like what Zahedong said. His popularity will definitely surpass his own. Brother Jiang, don't worry, I have hired a very good team for Anna. This team only serves Anna. Now they have gone to select a scenic spot for Anna. I believe there will be a result soon. After Zahedong added, Jiang Chen saw that Anna, who was always melancholy, had gradually cheered up. So he looked at Xia Heidong and said, okay, since Anna wants to start a live broadcast, she must broadcast the best things. I will take you to a place now. Everyone follow me. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Xia Heidong became interested when he heard that Jiang Chen also had a new scenic spot. So Xia Heidong invited Kinana and others to follow Jiang Chen and drive towards Jiang Chen's begonia town. After arriving at Haitang town, everyone was surprised when they saw a sea of flowers suddenly appearing in the desert. Especially the sea of flowers was white Haitang flowers, which made people feel even more amazing. It's here. If we can broadcast live here, we will definitely have a lot of fans today. Looking at the wooden villas under the Haitang trees, Xia Heidong knew that today's event would definitely be successful again. Time passed quickly. In order to have a better live broadcast effect, Xia Heidong really spent a lot of money. He invited several filming teams and redecorated Haitang town. When everything was arranged, it was evening. The evening in the Sahara scenic area is the night of China. People who have been tired all day have returned home at night. This is the time when they are most free. When they are most free, they have habitually opened their mobile phones to read the news. At this moment, almost all major news websites and major forums are discussing one thing, that is, Kinana, known as the Rose Fairy, is going to broadcast live in the Sahara live. The group of photos taken in the moonlit Rose Sea a few years ago were all the rage in China for several months. Anna's photos in the moonlight are still used as the cover by many people. She is the representative of modern stunning beauties. Fuck, the Rose Fairy is also doing a live broadcast. How much money did she spend on this sofa live broadcast? No, I have to go and take a look. I want to see if the Rose Fairy's photos were photoshopped. How could there be such a beautiful beauty in the world? Almost everyone came to the Sahara live platform with the idea of seeing her beauty. It was also because of Jiang Chen's live broadcast yesterday that the reputation of the Sahara live platform was spread out all of a sudden. So many people registered, which laid the foundation for the rise of Kinana's live broadcast. At 7 o'clock, the time just arrived, and the entire screen of Sahara live broadcast played Kinana's live broadcast. Kinana's live broadcast room name is very special, Rose Fairy Anna's live broadcast room. When the live broadcast started, Jiang Chen sat far away in the house of Haitang town. He turned on his mobile phone and clicked on Anna's live broadcast room like a tourist. As soon as he opened the live broadcast room, Jiang Chen laughed awkwardly. Xia Heidong is right. When I started the live broadcast, there were only tens of thousands of people at the beginning. Anna hasn't shown her face yet, but there are millions of people. It turns out that compared to live broadcasting, beauties are more advantageous. Jiang Chen said awkwardly, and Anna appeared in the camera at this moment. Anna's live broadcast is a little different. Others live broadcast with their mobile phones, but Anna's live broadcast is more like a trip and a street shot. At this moment, there is someone beside her who carries a camera to help her live broadcast. Perhaps it is because of the camera that the live broadcast is extremely clear. When Anna smiled at the camera, Anna's live broadcast room exploded instantly. Windy life, oh my god, the Rose Fairy is really so beautiful. Xiaoxiaoxi, wow, beauty, definitely a beauty. Look at such a high definition camera, her face is so clean, her skin is so smooth, and her facial features are so three-dimensional and delicate. She is simply several times more beautiful than in the photo. Serious, yeah, I feel like we've all been deceived by the photo. Who took the ugly photo? Let's just pull him over and beat him to death. Jiang Chen was even more embarrassed looking at everyone's comments. When he took the photo, these people were crazy about giving him likes. Why are they all eager to beat themselves to death now that the real person is out? Besides, is my photography skill really that bad? Hello everyone, I'm Anna. This is my first time to do a live broadcast. I don't know what to say. Let me introduce myself to you first. Anna showed her white teeth as soon as she opened her mouth. Her cherry mouth showed her neat and white teeth, which instantly melted the hearts of many fans. Big boss, it doesn't matter if you don't know what to say. Just sit there and do the live broadcast. That's enough. Spread your wings and fly. That's right. What else does a beautiful woman need to say when she does a live broadcast? Just this appearance is enough. Worth this life. I won't say anything. Let's start giving rewards. Before Anna had time to introduce herself, her entire screen was filled with all kinds of gifts. At this moment, Xia Heidong was already very happy in the background of Sahara. Manager, the number of people online has exceeded 6 million. After 5 minutes of broadcasting, the amount of reward money has exceeded 1 million, which has broken Jiang Chen's record. Okay, I said that Jiang Chen is definitely not Anna's opponent, but he still doesn't believe it. In the future, we have Anna to start live broadcasts on time. Are we still afraid that Sahara can't beat the China Live Broadcast Association? At this moment, Jiang Chen looked at the gifs on the screen, and he couldn't help laughing. Sure enough, I'm still not good enough. It seems that the future live broadcast business will be handed over to Anna. I grew up in Mojiang. Since I was a child, my father opened a noodle shop called Laokin Noodle Shop. Anna in the camera continued to introduce herself to everyone. Everyone mentioned Laokin Noodle Shop, and soon a group of people started barrages. Never give up. Laokin Noodle Shop, our northwest famous food. Whenever I come to Mojiang on a business trip, the place I must go is Laokin Noodle Shop. For the alliance, I ate noodles at Laokin Noodle Shop yesterday. I really have to say that the noodles at Laokin Noodle Shop are amazing. I have never eaten such delicious noodles. The little beauty giggled. No wonder she is so pretty. It turns out she grew up eating noodles from Laokin Noodle House every day. Chapter 453, Winning at the Birth Line. Almost everyone in the live broadcast room is familiar with Laokin Noodle House. After all, Laokin Noodle House is too famous. Everyone will be recommended by various people before coming. They must go to Laokin Noodle House to taste the most authentic Northwest mutton noodles there. After Kinana helped her father to advertise, she never expected that it was a casual remark, that there was a rumor in the outside world that eating the noodles of Laokin Noodle House would make people as beautiful as Kinana. So at this moment, the business of Laokin Noodle House suddenly became popular again. There will be a long queue at the door of almost every Laokin Noodle House, and there are many young girls in this group of people who run to line up. I will broadcast a new scenic spot for everyone today. This scenic spot is called Haitang Town. Now everyone, come with me to take a look. Now is the time when spring is the strongest. Haitang Town is still a little hot in the evening, so Anna doesn't wear much. She wears a thin gauze skirt, revealing her slender, white, and long legs. When the camera zoomed out, everyone saw Kinana's near perfect figure and became more jealous. Little mushroom, it's so unfair. It's so unfair. Why is Nana so pretty and has such a good figure? Simple heart. Yes, it's really unfair. Anna has a sweet voice and looks good. She won at the starting line when she was born. A group of sisters launched sour barrages. Jiang Chen sighed. When has God never been fair? When he closes a door for you, he will definitely open a window for you. Of course, when he opens a few windows for you, he will definitely close a door for you. Kinan matters. She is beautiful, but she was born in such a family. She couldn't even go to school since she was a child, and she doesn't even know a word until now. Forget it. She has been abused by the short winter melon since she was a child. That kind of psychological trauma is unimaginable for these people who can play with their mobile phones every day. What's more, who of those who play with mobile phones can't choose their own marriage and their own future? And Anna can't. If he hadn't met her, Anna at this moment would have become Zhu Chang's tool for sexual gratification. Everyone, take a look. This is Haitang Town. The flowers in Haitang Town are all in bloom. These flowers are very beautiful. After Anna finished speaking, the photographer quickly aimed the camera at the blooming Haitang flowers in Haitang Town. As the camera zoomed in little by little, everyone saw the white Haitang flowers, and then as the camera zoomed out little by little, a whole Haitang flower tree flashed a white light in the desert. Then the camera turned, and Jiang Chen actually saw the aerial photography. At this moment, the thousands of acres of Haitang flowers in the deep desert in front of everyone were so fantastic. Soon, a group of people were fascinated by Jiang Chen's Haitang Town. Not to mention them, even Jiang Chen himself couldn't help but sigh. You pit fathers are Heidong. You are just shooting a movie. Why didn't you arrange a team like this for me when I was live streaming? After the aerial photography, various editing, and various angles of the Haitang town Haitang flowers were broadcast live. The camera quickly turned to the wooden house village in Haitang town. Under the sunlit crabapple blossoms, next to the wooden house, Anna had changed into an ancient costume. The clothes she wore looked like a tang suit. She walked lightly, and the pieces of light sand kept flying around her. Her long black hair was so dazzling in the sun. Mood. Wow, this is too beautiful. It feels like a costume movie. Strength. There is no such a beautiful heroine in a movie. I strongly suggest that goddess Anna can enter the film and television industry. She will definitely become the hottest star in the film and television industry. Kitty, you think too much. Do you know how rich Anna is now? She doesn't want to be a star anymore. Okay. Just when a group of fans launched a barrage, the camera had already pushed to Anna. At this moment, Anna was sitting on the steps of the wooden house. She held her chin and looked at the sunset in the distance. The sunset sprinkled on her body, outlining her in a golden world. Giant panda. If every minute and every second of Jiang Chen's yesterday was a painting, then every minute and every second of Anna's now is even more dreamy. Okay. The live broadcast continued. Jiang Chen didn't understand. Anna didn't even say a word. She just posed in the begonia scenic area and smiled at the camera. That's all. But Anna's popularity had exceeded 60 million around 8 o'clock. Jiang Chen sighed. It's really incomparable. When night fell, Anna went off the air. Hearing that Anna was off the live broadcast, many fans launched barrages on the screen. Red brick and green tile. Will Anna still broadcast tomorrow? The old man is not young anymore. What time will you broadcast tomorrow? You, the anchor. We will definitely follow you. Anna couldn't understand the subtitles they sent, but Anna knew that so many people must be praising her. When the director gestured to Anna that the fans were asking her when she would broadcast, Anna quickly introduced everyone. I won't do a live broadcast tomorrow. Tomorrow my good sister will do a live broadcast for everyone. I hope everyone will support her as much as they support me. I will bring you a new live broadcast the day after tomorrow. Anna has now discussed with Zukin and the others. From now on, the members of their dance team will take turns to do live broadcasts. You do the live broadcast in the morning, I do it in the afternoon, and the other person does it in the evening. Or you do it today, I do it tomorrow. They all divide the time very specifically. At 9 o'clock in the evening, after Anna's afternoon live broadcast, she looked at the director team and said apologetically, I'm sorry. This is my first live broadcast. I really don't know what to say. No, it's successful. It's successful. Let's go back and celebrate. After the director finished speaking, he asked someone to hand Anna a coat, and the camera crew also applauded. Indeed, it was an honor for them to be able to shoot Anna's beauty up close. Let's go celebrate. After get off work. After the live broadcast ended, Jiang Chen walked out of the wooden house. At this moment, the sand wind blew on him, and it was indeed a bit cold around him. Nana, you are awesome. Jiang Chen gave Anna a thumbs up. Anna's face was filled with a charming smile. She ran to Jiang Chen and threw herself into his arms. I've been nervous all day. My palms were sweaty just now. Anna stretched out her slender white hand and showed it to Jiang Chen. In the night, Jiang Chen held Anna's hand and walked around the scenic area. Jiang Chen is very busy now. He can't remember how long it has been since he took a walk with Anna. Just as Jiang Chen was walking in the sea of crab apples holding Anna's hand, Jiang Chen's cell phone suddenly rang. Chapter 454 Desert Archaeological Team. Brother Jiang, come to the celebration banquet. We have broken the historical record again today. Let's go to the same place. Bring Anna here. Xia Heidong was so excited that he almost jumped up. It was rare for a man in his 40s to be as happy as a child. Anna was a quiet person, so she didn't go to the celebration banquet. Jiang Chen didn't go either. As long as it was confirmed to be successful, it was more fortunate than any celebration banquet. At night, the desert was extremely quiet, but at this moment, Shangjing, thousands of miles away, was not peaceful. The China Live Broadcast Association was surrounded by reporters. Zhu Ziyan, the president of the Live Broadcast Association, also fled from the back door in disgrace. The reporters didn't see Zhu Ziyan, So they went to the Chili Live broadcast platform again, wanting to interview Mr. Lee about his feelings at the moment. What could Mr. Lee feel at the moment? It's no wonder that he let Jiang Chen go, because Jiang Chen's live broadcast time was not fixed. Sometimes he didn't broadcast once for 2 or 3 months, and sometimes he broadcasted for a whole day, which made Mr. Lee very unhappy. He originally thought that if Jiang Chen, the cancer who was not on time, was kicked out, and Chili Live and other live platforms banned him, they would create a new batch of newcomers. But what he never expected was that he actually failed. There were very few visitors to Chili Live in the past 2 days, and the stars that they spent a lot of money to dig up did not bring them much traffic. Instead, he had to pay them tens of millions of fees. This deal directly made him lose all his money. So Mr. Lee and his team only hoped that on the 3rd day, Sahara Live would be quiet and their traffic would pick up a little. But what made Chili Live and the China Live Association headache was that on the 3rd day, although Anna and Jiang Chen did not start live broadcasts, Sahara Live brought out another newcomer. This newcomer was none other than Zukin, the school beauty of Xinan University. Zukin's first live broadcast was chosen on the Cherry Blossom Avenue with fireworks flying all over the sky. When Zukin, who has traditional oriental beauty, danced in the world of cherry blossoms, the fans instantly boiled. Zukin's dance is definitely the most beautiful dance they have ever seen in the world, especially when Zukin, who is so outstanding and gentle, dances out, coupled with the live broadcast team of the film and television in the fairyland like Cherry Blossom Avenue. It is really hard not to succeed. Days passed one by one, and when the traffic stars signed by the Chili Live platform went to film, Chili Live could be said to have truly declined. At the same time, on the 4th day of the launch of Sahara Live, they released another heavyweight beauty. This beauty is a school beauty of Sahara Tourism College, and she brought everyone a different live broadcast. The grassland she broadcast live to everyone allowed everyone to see a beautiful picture of green grass, white clouds, sheep and blue sky. For several days of live broadcast, netizens subconsciously waited on the Sahara Live platform. After get off work every day they were guessing what new surprises the Sahara Live platform would bring them every day. They were also guessing what kind of beautiful people Sahara Live would launch every day. Today's Sahara Live is more like a star-making factory, and every person who comes out will basically become popular all over China in an instant. Jiang Chen returned to his old days. For some reason, Xia Heidong didn't call him for several days to ask him to come to the live broadcast. So on a boring evening, when Jiang Chen opened the Sahara Live broadcast, he actually saw the Maoai #1 brother who had been beaten by him. At this time, Maoai #1 brother was holding the crescent bay sand spring water in one hand and drinking it, while eating the locust delicacy unique to the grassland in big mouthfuls. This guy was introducing this delicacy to everyone while eating. When he bit a fresh locust and sprayed it all over his face, the whole screen was filled with ha barrages. In the dense barrages, Jiang Chen saw the number of people in his live broadcast room. Yes, it was a full 40 million. Even a little known anchor who was arrested and squatted for several months had such popularity. No wonder Xia Heidong didn't call him. In August, the desert began to get hot. After all, the summer in the desert has begun. One thing that made Jiang Chen very excited in early August was that, because of the popularity of Sahara Live, all the live broadcast platforms in China were quickly taken over by Sahara Live. As Sahara Live continued to introduce new people, and each new person became a god, the anchors of all sizes in China, who were afraid of being banned, began to move. In mid-August, Chili Live and Maoai Live were already half dead, especially Maoai Live's stock had fallen to the point of being ready to be delisted. Chili Live's capital was gradually withdrawn, so all the anchors came to Sahara Live to broadcast live. When Sahara Live pulled all those anchors over, it had become the overlord of the entire live broadcast industry, and they were finally able to realize the dream of having people broadcasting live 24 hours a day. By the end of August, because the website traffic could not keep up, coupled with a shortage of funds, and Maoai and Huai had signed some stars, they finally prepared to close the platform, because they could not make ends meet. In early September, when Maoai and Lejiao were about to declare bankruptcy, suddenly, Dajiang Group, Taobei Group and Pingjiang Group, the three group bosses directly announced that they had taken over Maoai and Lejiao Live. They merged Maoia and Lajiao into a new Maoia platform. Because of the entry of business giants Jiang Group and Taobei Group, the new Maoia platform instantly became well funded, and they launched a war against Sahara. But Jiang Chen no longer paid attention to this matter. In September, strong winds blew again in the desert, and this time the wind and sand were so strong that it really felt like a winter storm was coming again. Jiang Chen opened the desert diary left to him by his grandfather, and there was a sentence in the diary that Jiang Chen remembered vividly. After the super winter storm, the strong wind pushed out the traces of the ancient cities buried in the desert. In a few months, due to the movement of wind and sand, some ancient cities will slowly emerge from the surface. When we first entered the desert, we found an ancient city buried under the yellow sand. We only saw the roof of the ancient city, but we did not stay for long, because we were in a hurry. So I wrote here, hoping that the archaeologists who come later can go into the desert to look for this ancient city a few months after the winter storm. Of course, the reason why Jiang Chen paid attention to this matter was that an archaeological team came from Shangjing, which was a private archaeological team. Originally, this archaeological team had nothing to do with him, but he received a call from an old acquaintance. The person on the phone asked Jiang Chen to take care of a member of the archaeological team. Jiang Chen then remembered the diary that his grandfather had left for him. Chapter 455, Strange Blood. September, before the archaeological team came to the Sahara scenic area, another strange thing happened in the Sahara scenic area. When Guanku told Jiang Chen about this, Jiang Chen was stunned. Brother Jiang, something happened in the grassland scenic area. The number of locusts in the grassland scenic area has obviously decreased a lot in the past few days. Not only that, many lawns near the border have been destroyed. After Guanku finished speaking, Jiang Chen's first reaction was that someone was poaching desert locusts. Nowadays, the price of desert locusts has skyrocketed, and it has become a must-eat dish for everyone who comes to the scenic area. So it is not an exaggeration that someone is thinking about the desert locusts. However, what makes Jiang King a little depressed is that these people actually destroyed his lawn, which is unforgivable. Send a patrol team to keep an eye on the border. Anyone who is caught poaching desert locusts and trampling on the lawn will be punished. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Guanku nodded. Just as Guanku was about to send the patrol team to patrol the grassland scenic area, Guanku's phone rang again. Guanku saw that it was a call from Chen Jianzhao, and he hurriedly answered it. President Guan, something bad has happened. A murder has occurred in the grassland scenic area. You should go and have a look. Jiang Chen's head suddenly became heavy when he heard that a murder had occurred in the grassland scenic area. You should know that it is a hot summer now. The grassland scenic area is the busiest time of the year. At this time, the grassland scenic area receives an average of 500,000 or 600,000 tourists a day. If there is a problem with the grassland scenic area, then he will lose a lot of money in a day. Brother Jiang, what should we do now? Don't worry. Let's go and have a look first. When Jiang Chen and Guan drove to the desert grassland scenic area, Chen Jianzhao, general manager of Sahara Construction Group, and Manager Lao, general manager of the Grassland Group, had already arrived at the grassland scenic area. Not only that, but to Jiang Shan's surprise, even Fatty Wang from Wanjia Food Group rushed back. You should know that when Jiang Chen called him last time, Fatty Wang was still buying cattle in Qi province. What's going on? Where did the murder happen? Jiang Chen looked at the crowd and said. Everyone looked at Manager Lao of the Grassland Scenic Area Management Group. Manager Lao hurriedly shook his head and said, it's not my scenic area that has a murder, it's Wanjia Food Group that has a murder. After Manager Liu finished speaking, a group of people looked at Fatty Wang, who at this moment had also rushed over from Qi province. I don't understand either. I haven't put down my bag yet. Lao Zhang, what's going on? After Wang Fatty finished speaking, he looked at Lao Zhang, the deputy general manager of Wanjiang Food Group. Brother Jiang, it's strange, very strange. There is a problem with the locust farm we manage. A manager said that he encountered a monster that looked like nothing. It lived underground and could get out of the sand to eat the locusts. It also ate livestock. The person who was bitten to death was a farmer from the locust farm outside the farm. According to his companions, he was suddenly dragged under the sand by something. When everyone rescued him, he had been eaten until only his head was left. The horror was really too terrifying. If a monster that could live under the yellow sand appeared in the desert, it would be the biggest threat to the desert scenic area. The monster can now move outside the desert scenic area, but what if it runs into the desert scenic area? There are so many tourists in the scenic area now. If their safety cannot be guaranteed, Jiang Chen really cannot bear the responsibility if something happens. Don't make this matter public for now. Let's see if we can catch this monster first. It's better to catch it, but if we can't catch it, it's also good to drive it away. After Guan Ku finished speaking, Jiang Chen and others also nodded in approval. After all, this thing only appeared outside the scenic area and has not really run into the scenic area. When will they appear? Guan, transfer the people from the Killing Legion here. I don't believe that there are any monsters that can resist the attack of the Sahara Legion now. Jiang Chen finished speaking, and Manager Zhang looked at everyone and said, the farmer was bitten to death at night, and the locusts in the farm were also eaten by monsters at night. Chen looked up at the sky. It was still noon and there was still some time before night. So he decided to stay on the grassland tonight and fight the monsters. In the afternoon, Jiang Chen and Fatty Wang drove to the locust farm outside the grassland scenic area. At this moment, a small team of the Sahara Legion with nearly 100 people has arrived outside the locust farm. The locust farm is neither big nor small. It covers an area of nearly 300 acres. The farm is full of sparse lawns, and the lawns are full of yellow insect pups. The young locusts grow up on the lawn. When they grow up and are as long as fingers, the farm managers will catch them all and put them in cages for breeding. So on the northernmost side of the farm, there are more than a dozen rows of 4 or 5-story breeding houses. Because of Jiang Chen's arrival, Song Yi, the head of the locust farm, personally came to receive Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen asked Song Yi to take him to the place where the farmer died. Speaking of the place where the farmer died, Song Yi took Jiang Chen directly to the western border of the farm. At the western border, Jiang Chen saw more than a dozen people in white coats studying the scene. Brother Jiang, Xiaoliu was dragged underground by the monster here. You can see that there are bloodstains everywhere. After Song Yi finished speaking, Jiang Chen walked to the place where the employees died next to the scene. There was a sand dune there. There was a deep pit on the oblique side of the sand dune. There were some bloodstains on the deep ditch that had not been cleaned up. Director Zaya, do you know what this is? In front of the deep pit, where the farm employees died, Director Zaya of the laboratory of Sahara Hospital was busy. He collected blood from several bleeding spots nearby and tested the blood on the spot. Brother Jiang, these bloodstains are from the employees who died, but take a closer look at this piece of blood. After studying this piece of blood, we found that it is not our human blood. Jiang Chen looked along Director Zaya's hand, and sure enough, there was a piece of light blue blood deep in the sandpit. What animal's blood is this? We don't know either. We just sent its sample to an animal expert in China. After analyzing it, he told us that the genes of this animal do not exist on Earth. We sent it to the Sahara Botanical Research Institute, and they also clearly stated that this is not plant blood. After Director Zaya finished speaking, he himself became a little confused. Jiang Chen frowned at this time. He knew that things might not be so simple. It is even possible that this animal was brought from outer space by the system. If this is the case, then the situation is really not optimistic. Of course, what makes Jiang Chen feel even more terrible is that, if this is really an alien creature, it really proves that the system not only brought locusts, but also may have brought animals that exterminated their planet, which will be very terrible. Chapter 456, Battle between tanks and monsters. No matter what kind of animal it is, since he dares to harm human life, I, Fatty Wang, will kill him tonight. Fatty Wang said. He put out the cigarette in his hand, and then picked up the submachine gun in his hand. He has decided to stay on the border at night. As long as this thing comes out, he will never let it go. Let all the employees of the farm evacuate at night, and the people of the Sahara Legion will send another 200 people over. By the way, go and call Brother Long over. Jiang Chen knew that once it was an alien creature, the only way to deal with it was to kill it. It is even possible that this thing is the thing that caused the demise of the advanced planet in the universe. Of course, it may also be the real culprit of the desert ravaging the earth. Okay, I will notify everyone to evacuate to the grassland farm. After Song Yi finished speaking, he organized everyone to start retreating. The captain of the Sahara Legion also began to contact another team to come to the locust farm to station. Time passed quickly. When evening came, a red sunset hung on the edge of the grassland, but no one was in the mood to watch the beautiful scenery in front of them at the moment. The Sahara army built simple watchtowers on the grassland, and Jiang Chen also built rows of houses in the southwest of the locust farm near the desert. Many houses have entrances but no exits, so he wanted everyone to force the monsters into this maze. When the sun was about to set, pieces of fine sand blew up on the desert. Jiang Chen stood on the watchtower of the wooden house maze, and suddenly he felt something strange. Today, Jiang Chen's 5 senses have reached the peak of human beings because of the blessing of the desert system. It seems that you can sense any movement 1 or 2 miles away. Tell everyone, they are coming. Everyone be careful. Jiang Chen also deliberately used the word we, and several people instantly perked up after hearing it. Brother Jiang, where are they? I'll rush out and kill them. After saying this, Fatty Wang pulled the bolt and pointed the submachine gun in his hand at the desert. But at this moment, the desert outside the watchtower, except for the wind blowing the sand on the sand dunes and flying constantly, there was no other change at all. Jiang Chen took out a telescope and began to search in the desert. When Jiang Chen pointed the telescope to the northwest, he suddenly saw several rotating waves in the golden sand. Over there, it seems that there is more than one this time. Jiang Chen finished speaking, and Fatty Wang also took the telescope and looked in the direction Jiang Chen pointed. Oh my god, what the hell is this? Why does it look like cultivated land? The monsters did not walk on the sand dunes, they hid under the sand dunes, and wherever they walked, high earth ridges would surge on the sand dunes. Prepare artillery fire. Jiang Chen finished speaking, and Brother Long waved his hand and soon 2 tanks came out of the locust farm. At the same time, a helicopter also flew into the sky. Jiang Chen was full of confidence in the Sahara army. He believed that with the current artillery fire of the Sahara army, they would definitely defeat the offending monsters. Brother Jiang, those things are so fast. Look at them, they seem to be swimming in the desert, faster than big fish. Fatty Wang said, and soon the sand dragons that were spinning and moving forward also came within the sight of several people. Brother Jiang, do you want to fire? It's time to give them a taste of their own medicine. Look at these bastards, they just tasted the sweetness yesterday, and today they came in groups. Brother Long said. Jiang Chen looked at the earth dragons that were moving rapidly in the desert, nodded and said, okay, give them a taste of their own medicine. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Brother Long waved his hand, and the 2 tanks fired at the same time. With a loud bang, the tanks fired 2 shells and exploded directly in front of the 2 moving earth dragons. As the bombs exploded, a large pit was immediately blown up on the sand dune. After the big pit was blown up, the 2 earth dragons soon stopped moving forward. Success, success, 2 were killed. After Brother Long finished speaking, Fatty Wang looked at the big pit in the distance and said with a smile, I thought it was such a powerful character, a guy that can be killed with 1 shell, and we dispatched so many people. After Fatty Wang finished speaking, Jiang Chen frowned. Since this thing came from outer space, its strength should not be so weak. Sure enough, what Jiang Chen said was right. Just when several people relaxed their vigilance, there was a sudden loud bang, and 2 tank-sized things suddenly jumped out of the 2 huge sand pits. Jiang Chen and his friends had never seen this thing before. They looked like crocodiles, but they didn't look like crocodiles, because their mouths were triangular. When the big mouths were opened, the teeth were like human arms, and the skin on their bodies didn't look like crocodile skin, but like pieces of iron edges. Oh my god, Brother Jiang, they are not dead. What the hell is this monster? Why do they look so creepy? After the thing jumped out of the sandpit, it fell back into the sandpit with a plop. Oh, it shouldn't have drilled back into the sandpit. When they landed, Jiang Chen looked at them carefully. This thing has a long tail and 4 legs. The legs are not very high. The main thing is that their faces are very memorable. There is no nose, and 2 huge eyes seem to be embedded in the head. There is even a rhino-like horn on their head. This thing is definitely not something on Earth. They may come from nowhere like desert locusts. Tell everyone to be careful. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, he himself became a little worried. Sure enough, this is worthy of being called the Death Desert. There are all kinds of monsters here. You can get a few desert locusts, which are edible after all, but how can this thing deal with it? Fire. After the captain of the Sahara Legion said this, the 2 tanks rumbled and fired at the 2 big guys who came first. With a bang, 2 bombs hit the place where they fell, and a big hole was blown out on the sand dune again, but the thing had disappeared long ago. Fuck, hurry up and get the tanks to retreat. Jiang Chen realized that something was wrong. As soon as he finished speaking, he soon felt the rumbling sound of the earth, and the sound shook their watchtower a little. Then there was a loud bang, and a big monster jumped out of the yellow sand. It was like a big fish, and it instantly bit the barrel of a tank. It was said that it was too late. When the monster opened its mouth and was about to bite the tank, the barrel of the tank instantly made a sound. With a bang, the shell instantly hit the monster's mouth, and then the sound of the shell exploding was heard, and the monster was instantly blown to pieces. Because it was too close, the tank was also pushed back more than 10 meters by the shockwave. Jiang Chen, who was standing on the watchtower, was also frightened, and hurriedly lay on the wooden board. As soon as Jiang Chen lay down, he heard a few popping sounds, and several objects were instantly hit onto the wooden shelf of the watchtower. Chapter 457, One tank at a time. The night had not yet completely fallen, and everything around was in sight. When Jiang Chen's men looked up from the observation deck, they saw scales deeply piercing the wooden frame. This thing can't be called a scale, it's more like a shell covering the monster. Brother Jiang, look, why is this shell like a turtle's shell? It feels so hard. After Wang Panzi finished speaking, the entire desert had become restless. Especially after the tank blew up the monster, the other 5 big monsters swimming in the desert also became excited. With a rumble, the tank parked in the front was suddenly bitten by a monster on the gun barrel. Crack. There was a crisp sound, and the hard tank gun barrel was bitten off in an instant. Jiang Chen was a little surprised. What on earth are the teeth of this thing made of? You know, the gun barrel of the tank is made of steel. Brother Chen, this thing is too powerful. Our tanks may not be able to defeat it. After Wang Panzi finished speaking, the machine gun on the tank had already started firing at the monster. The bullets hitting the thing were like tickling, and they couldn't do anything to it. Boom. After biting off the gun barrel, the thing drilled back into the sand. Jiang Chen hurriedly took out his telescope and looked at the ground. There was not even a drop of blood on the ground. The bullet didn't even hurt its skin. Their most vulnerable part is their mouth. Only by shooting the shell into their mouth can we kill them. Jiang Chen finished speaking, and at this moment a monster as big as a tank had already drilled out from the back of the tank. After it drilled out, it bit the rear wheel of the tank. The people in the tank had not yet discovered the monster behind them, but at this moment the people on the helicopter had seen it clearly. Fire. The combat helicopter fired a shell at the tank-like monster, and a dazzling white light flew over. With a boom, the shell directly hit the monster on the ground. With a bang, the explosion exploded on the monster, but surprisingly, although the bomb exploded, it did not kill the monster. The monster bit off the tracks, and then burrowed back into the sand. Jiang Chen looked at everything in front of him, and knew that things were not going to go well. Brother Jiang, this is bad. Look, the 5 monsters are coming towards the tank. The mouth of this thing can bite through steel. At this moment, the tracks and gun barrel of one of the 2 tanks were already bitten off. Only one tank was still operational. Seeing this, the tank hurriedly drove towards the other tank. When a monster came out of the sand and tried to bite the stranded tank, the other tank fired a bomb, which blasted the monster beast flying. After the monster was blown away by the shell, another monster also came out of the ground. It drilled directly under the tank and overturned the entire tank to the ground with a bang. After the tank rolled on the ground, the other 3 monsters also swam towards the tank. After they swam over, they went up and started to bite the tank. These guys have really good teeth. How come they are not afraid of their teeth being broken by steel? Jiang Chen finished speaking, and Fatty Wang had already raised his submachine gun and fired at the distance. Da 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 da. As the bullets flew out like rice grains, they quickly swept over the bodies of several monsters. After a little bit of starlight splashed on the bodies of several monsters, a monster turned around and looked at the wooden tower where Jiang Chen was and chased after him. Fuck, Fatty Wang, you son of a bitch, are you courting death? Seeing Fatty Wang firing, Jiang Chen really wanted to kick him to death. These things are not even afraid of tanks. You fired to lure them over, and they opened their mouths and bit off the wooden tower directly. Don't be afraid, brother Jiang, I still have a grenade here. Fatty Wang pulled a grenade and threw it at a distance. After hearing a bang, a big hole was instantly blown up on the ground, and the big monster that rushed over instantly fell into the hole. After the monster fell into the pit, a helicopter flew over and threw an incendiary bomb directly into the pit. As the incendiary bomb was thrown, a loud bang was heard, and the entire pit was instantly on fire. When Jiang Chen saw the entire pit turned into a sea of fire, he breathed a sigh of relief. However, to Jiang Chen's surprise, the big monster covered in fire jumped out of the pit again and quickly rushed towards Jiang Chen. Looking at the monster covered in fire running towards him, Jiang Chen pulled the grenade and threw it at it without saying a word. With a loud bang, the grenade exploded on the monster's body. As the grenade exploded, the monster squeaked in pain. It seems that this thing is not completely immune to bombs. It's just that its skin is a little tougher. It can be killed by bombing it a few more times. Throw grenades together to blow him up. Jiang Chen was not finished speaking, and Fatty Wang and Brother Wolf hurriedly pulled the grenade and blew it up in the distance. Boom boom boom. With several loud noises, the monster that rushed over first was instantly blown to pieces. After the first monster was blown to death, another monster seemed to sense the death of this monster, and it also roared and ran towards the direction of the watchtower. Keep throwing, Jiang Chen said, and several people threw grenades into the distance. The grenades blew up pieces of yellow sand, but this time the monsters learned their lesson, and they drilled directly into the ground and ran towards Jiang Chen. When the monsters drilled underground, piles of yellow sand would still rise up on the ground, but at this time, throwing grenades would not do anything to this thing. Run downstairs, Jiang Chen said, but then he shook his head again. He couldn't run away now. You can never outrun a monster that walks on flat ground in the desert. You can't run away, wait to die, Jiang Chen said, and Brother Wolf had already stretched out his hand and slid down the ladder. After Brother Wolf slid to the ground, he ran towards the wooden building. As Wolf Brother ran, he shouted at the heap of dirt behind him, damn it, you idiots, come and chase me, come and chase me. Fuck, old wolf, you're looking for death. After Jiang Chen shouted, the monster over there seemed to hear some noise, and he followed the footsteps and chased Wolf Brother. Boom. When the dirt pile was about to reach Wolf Brother jumped into the nearest wooden building. As Wolf Brother jumped into the wooden building, he heard a loud bang, and the thing instantly hit the foundation of the wooden building under the sand. Bang, boom, boom, boom. A series of noises were heard, and the entire wooden building was instantly overturned from the foundation to the ground. After the wooden building was overturned, Wolf Brother in the wooden building was shocked. Before he could react, the entire wooden building rolled to the ground. Chapter 458, Fire at me. Fatty Wang, hurry down and save him. Jiang Chen saw Brother Wolf being chased by the monster, so he hurriedly tried to slide down along the pole. When Jiang Chen was about to slide down, Fatty Wang reached out and grabbed him. Brother Chen, don't go down. You will definitely die if you go down. We must go and save Brother Wolf. If you go down, you can't save him, and you will lose your life. He ran down to lure the monster away just to keep you alive. Okay, you wait up there, I'll go save him. Fatty Wang wanted to go down after he said that, but he heard a loud bang. At some point, a monster had broken the foundation of the wood under Jiang Chen's feet. Once the foundation was broken, the entire wooden building fell to the ground. As soon as the wooden building fell to the ground, a long ridge of earth rose up in the distance. Jiang Chen knew that the monster was running towards him again. This is really the end. Fatty Wang, hurry up and run to the wooden house. After Jiang Chen shouted, he ran towards the wooden house. Fatty Wang followed closely behind. The two were still some distance away from the wooden house. When they saw that the thing was about to catch up with them, Jiang Chen pointed at Fatty Wang and shouted, "Fatty Wang, you run over there, I'll run over here." After Jiang Chen shouted, Fatty Wang turned around and ran towards another wooden house. The monster suddenly felt two different sounds on the ground. After a moment, it chose to chase Jiang Chen. "Oh my god, you idiot, Fatty Wang is so fat, he has a lot of meat," Jiang Chen said, and instantly jumped into the window of a wooden building. As soon as he jumped into the wooden building, he heard a bang and the monster also hit the foundation of the wooden house. Boom. Jiang Chen felt as if the whole wooden house was kicked over by a giant. He instantly hit the ceiling from the floor. Crack, crack. As soon as the wooden house stopped, Jiang Chen saw the monster's big mouth open, and its mouth was still flowing with disgusting saliva. The saliva kept dripping onto the ground. It bit down with a snap and instantly bit off the pillars of the wooden house. "Fuck, how can I fight this thing?" Jiang Chen cursed and steadied himself and rushed out of the window. After running out of the collapsed wooden building, Jiang Chen got into another wooden building. As soon as Jiang Chen got into the wooden building, the big guy bit him with a snap. Jiang Chen saw the opportunity, took out a grenade from his pocket, pulled the bracelet, and threw it directly into the woodpile. When the grenade was thrown into the woodpile was instantly bitten into the mouth of the monster. Boom. After a loud noise, the wooden house, where Jiang Chen was shaking. Jiang Chen was just about to run for his life, but the big monster that stood up high in the distance was no longer moving. Plop, the big monster hit the wooden building next to it heavily, and the pillars of the wooden building were instantly broken. "Dead. What a false alarm," Jiang Chen said, and Fatty Wang in the distance rushed towards him. Brothers are brothers. In front of him, they never put their own safety at risk. They always think of each other. "Don't be afraid, Brother Chen. I, Fatty Wang, will fight it. The future of mankind is in your hands. Remember to bury me on the hillside of my hometown," Fatty Wang said, and he shot at the fallen monster with a submachine gun. "The hilltop of my hometown can't accommodate a big fat pig like you. You'd better live honestly," Jiang Chen said, and he rushed towards Brother Wolf in the distance. Brother Wolf was really miserable at this moment. I don't know what happened to the big-headed monster, and he wanted to bite Brother Wolf to death like crazy. Brother Wolf also ran for his life, isn't it? If he didn't run for his life, he would really die there. Boom. Brother Wolf had just entered the wooden building, and the monster knocked the wooden building to the ground at this moment. After knocking down several wooden buildings, Brother Wolf also learned to be smart. He did not try to hide in the wooden house. He ran directly past the wooden building, and the monster knocked it down to the ground. In this way, after all 11 wooden buildings built by Jiang Chen were knocked down, Brother Wolf had nowhere to run. "Brother Wolf, run this way," Jiang Chen shouted, and Brother Wolf saw Jiang Chen and Fatty Wang both fell to the ground. He shouted angrily, "What are you doing down here? Do you think we want to come down?" The wooden tower was fucking broken by the monster. After Fatty Wang shouted, the monster in the distance also rushed towards them. Jiang Chen looked around and saw that there was a big pit in front of Brother Wolf. Jiang Chen instantly had an idea. "Brother Wolf, just jump over the pit." After Jiang Chen shouted, Brother Wolf jumped over the big pit with a whoosh. As he jumped over, the monster hiding in the sand behind him also rushed over, but just when the monster was about to rush into the big pit, Jiang Chen pulled 2 grenades and threw them directly into the pit. Boom. 2 grenades exploded instantly. The monster just jumped on the big pit. The grenade exploded and instantly blew it up from the soil to the sky. Just as the monster was blown up into the sky, a missile flew over from a helicopter in the distance. "Hurry up and lie down." Seeing the missile flying over, Jiang Chen and Fatty Wang jumped into a big pit next to them. Then they heard a loud rumbling sound. The monster that was blown up into the sky was directly blown to pieces by the missile. After the helicopter killed 1 monster, there were only 2 monsters left next to the locust farm. The 2 monsters were circling around the tank, and they would bite the tank from time to time. However, the tank was made of steel plates, so the 2 monsters bit it more than 10 times, but still couldn't tear the tank apart. "Fire at me, fire at me." The tank was knocked over to the ground. The two monsters couldn't bite them open for a while, but the people in the tank knew that Jiang Chen had jumped down from the wooden building at this moment. If the missiles on the plane didn't kill them, these two creatures might bite Jiang Chen, so the soldiers on the tank shouted to the helicopter. As soldiers, they had long been prepared to sacrifice for Sahara at any time. Brother Jiang, this is Falcon 1. Falcon 1 requests to use missiles to attack the monster. They finally discovered that ordinary bombs could not kill this thing at all, unless the bombs could hit the mouths of these creatures with incredible accuracy. No. Everyone who came to Sahara was Jiang Chen's brother, and Jiang Chen would not abandon them if they were brothers. Fire at me, fire at me. After the soldiers in the tank shouted, there was still no movement in the sky. The two monsters that besieged the tank this time seemed to smell a different smell in the sand, and they began to leave the tank and drill towards Jiang Chen and the others. No, this thing can smell the blood in the air. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 459, Steel-Toothed Beast. Jiang Chen didn't know anything about this kind of alien creature, but looking at the two monsters coming towards them from a distance, Jiang Chen knew that these things must be bloodthirsty. What should we do? Fatty Wang was also stunned for a moment. At this moment, it would definitely not work for the fighter jets to launch missiles here, because the missiles can blow the monsters to death. But at the same time, it will also send Jiang Shan and his men to the west. The old way. Let's run over there together, and I'll throw a grenade into the gun pit later to blow them out. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, several people ran towards the distance. As soon as they ran over, it didn't take long for the earth behind them to catch up with them. It was said that it was too late, and just when they were about to enter the pit, Jiang Chen threw a grenade in his hand. With a loud bang, as Jiang Chen expected, the front half of the big guy was instantly blown out of the soil. After the front half of the big guy was blown out, the monster opened its mouth and screamed at Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen saw the monster opened its mouth. Without saying anything, he stopped, pulled out the grenade, and threw it into its mouth. Boom 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 boom. A loud noise came from a distance, and the monster's head was instantly blown to pieces. With the monster being blown to death, there was only one monster left next to the farm. The remaining monster seemed to have sensed the breath of death, and began to be afraid. Wait, that thing is starting to run into the desert. Just as Fatty Wang and the others were preparing to escape, Jiang Chen's sixth sense sensed the monster's attempt to escape. Really, brother Jiang, look, that thing is going into the desert. After Fatty Wang shouted, he was so happy that he danced in the desert like a child. This feeling of remaining alive after death really makes people forget themselves. We can't let it go back. This thing is too threatening. If we don't kill it now, it will be a time bomb sooner or later. We don't know when it will blow us up. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, he chased after the monster that wanted to escape. Fatty Wang and the others followed suit, and at this moment, the Sahara legion of more than 200 people ambushed in other parts of the grassland also gathered at Jiang Chen's location. Chase, don't let that thing run away. After Jiang Chen gave everyone the order, everyone chased into the desert. But how could a person catch up with a monster that seemed to be swimming in the water in the desert? Helicopter, missile attack. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, a helicopter in the distance flew straight over, and the helicopter fired several missiles in the sky in the direction of the monster's escape. The sound of explosions rumbled in the desert, and after the missiles were fired, large pits were blown up in the desert one after another. But what was disappointing was that the guy dug too deep, and the missiles could not do anything to it, except blowing up piles of yellow soil. Finally, when the sky was completely dark, the thing disappeared, after leaving behind one leg. The battle was finally won, but this victory made Jiang Chen full of worries. A monster ran away alive, which means that there are always things in the dark that will threaten their scenic area. Brother Jiang, what on earth is this thing? How come we have never seen it on our earth? After dark, a group of soldiers dragged the monsters that were blown to the locust farm. The dead fall-in-bed monsters had 2 mouths blown off. One had its entire body blown off, and the other had its stomach blown off. They were neatly lined up in a row, and many soldiers ran to see them curiously, but no one knew what this thing was. I don't know what this is either. The desert now is no longer the desert we are familiar with. We don't know what will come out of it in the future, so everyone must be careful and alert in the future. Jiang Chen finished speaking, and a tank soldier in the distance took a pliers and knocked on the head of monster. It was a monster with a blown off stomach. When the tank soldier smashed the monster's head flat, suddenly a sharp tooth pierced out of the monster's mouth. The tooth hit the pliers of the tank soldier, and the pliers were also deeply scratched. How come the teeth of this thing are so sharp? It can even cut iron. No wonder it can bite off the tracks of a tank. After the tank soldier finished speaking, Jiang Chen instantly became interested again. Jiang Chen walked to the side of the monster. He stretched out his hand and forcefully opened the monster's huge mouth. The mouth of this thing was like that of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. After opening the monster's mouth, Jiang Chen saw the monster's 2 neat rows of teeth. The 2 rows of teeth were long and short. The short ones were only a few centimeters long, and the long ones were as long as a calf. Jiang Chen took a piece of the monster's shell and smashed it at the longest tooth. There was a clang sound, and the tooth actually pierced the hard shell in half. Oh my god, the teeth of this thing are even more powerful than a sword. Jiang Chen didn't know how this thing was made, but he was sure that it could really cut iron like mud. If this tooth could be made into a dagger, it would definitely be useful for self-defense. Thinking of this, Jiang Chen pointed at the big monster's mouth and said, "You guys pull out his teeth for me, and then send them to the military academy. I'll find someone to make them into daggers." "Yes, sir." Several people pulled out the teeth in the monster's mouth, and Jiang Chen walked towards the other monsters. But to Jiang Chen's regret, the teeth in the other monsters' mouths were all gone, and they were all blown to pieces. At night, Jiang Chen left a few soldiers to continue guarding the edge of the desert, and he asked Wang Panzi and others to go back and rest. When everyone went to rest, Jiang Chen stayed alone. Last time when the locusts came, the desert farming app told him about the harm of desert locusts. This time, Jiang Chen believed that the desert farming app should also be able to recognize its name. When he was sure that everyone had left, Jiang Chen opened the app in the desert. He pointed the camera in the desert farming app at the monster in front of him, and soon the app in the desert rang with a ding. System prompt: please be careful of the attack of the steel-toothed beast. The steel-toothed beast is a war weapon that combines technology and desert beasts cultivated by the desert kingdom of the flame planet under the Interstellar Alliance. System prompt: please be careful of the steel-toothed beast's teeth. The steel-toothed beast's teeth are made of steel unique to the desert kingdom. They are extremely sharp and can bite through any hard armor and metal. After the system prompt, Jiang Chen was shocked. Could it be that there are really alien things in this desert? And this steel-toothed beast is clearly their weapon of war. Could it be that this group of aliens wants to invade the entire Earth with the desert as the center? Chapter 460, Invasion of Earth. Speaking of aliens, Jiang Chen couldn't help laughing again. According to his grandfather's notes, his grandfather almost went to the depths of the Sahara, but he didn't encounter any aliens. Forget it, don't think about it. When I have money in the future, I will make the whole desert green. No matter how strong the steel-toothed beast is, without the desert, you will be caught and treated as a monkey by us. The next morning, the steel-toothed beast that escaped in the desert never came back. The animal experts invited by Jiang Chen also rushed to the locust farm. When the animal experts saw the steel-toothed beast, they were also stunned. They never expected that this thing would be so big. When Jiang Chen told them at first, they thought it was just as big as a mouse. A group of experts said that they had never seen this thing, so Jiang Chen didn't force them and asked them to take it directly to the Grassland College of Tsinghua University and Peking University for a search. When a group of zoologists were about to leave, Jiang Chen reminded them that, although this thing looked big, it could shuffle freely in the sand, so they must study it well. See if we can develop a vehicle that can travel under the sand, based on their body structure. After the zoologists left, Jiang Chen left Brother Long at the locust farm. He asked Brother Long to be responsible for the safety of the locust farm, and he drove Wang Panzi directly to the military academy. The military academy was established in the southwest of the grassland scenic area. This was the first specialized academy established by Jiang Chen for military purposes. There is a military weapons research institute in the academy, which specializes in transforming weapons purchased from other places to adapt them to the desert environment. Jiang Chen came to the Ordnance Research Institute to see the steel-toothed beast teeth he seized. Entering the Ordnance Research Institute, the director of the institute came to receive Jiang Chen in person. Jiang Chen and the director walked into the cold weapon research room. At this moment, a group of military weapons experts recruited from all over the country were studying Jiang Chen's steel-toothed beast teeth in the research room. Okay, everyone put down the work at hand. After the director of the Ordnance Research Institute finished speaking, a group of experts turned their heads to look at the director. At the same time, they also found the young man standing next to the director. This was also the first time many of them saw Jiang Chen, the supreme leader of Sahara. The chief has something to ask everyone. Director Smith, please give a brief introduction. After the dean finished speaking, a big-nosed foreigner pointed to a dozen teeth placed next to him and said, "It's really strange. We have conducted various x-rays and tests on these teeth, and this thing is not a tooth at all. It seems to be installed artificially, but it doesn't look like something made by humans." After Smith finished speaking, he took out a longer tooth and continued, "Look, this is clearly the steel we use, but this kind of steel is hard, light, and sharp. It is far from the type of steel we can currently master." After Smith finished speaking, he felt very confused. He was very curious about where Jiang Chen got this thing from. "It's not that you don't know it, it doesn't matter. I just want to ask if you can decompose and study this material." "Yes, but it will take a long time because there are many chemical elements in this thing that we don't know at all." After Smith finished speaking, Jiang Chen nodded and said, "I can give you time. In addition, I will ask the Sahara group to allocate another fund to you. In the future, you will focus on studying this steel. I hope it can be mass-produced as soon as possible." "No problem." The reason why these foreigners are willing to come to Jiang Chen's military laboratory is no wonder that Jiang Chen is willing to give them a lot of research funds. Of course, the clear water and blue sky here are also very attractive to them. They think this is another paradise for mankind. After Jiang Chen asked some questions, when he was about to leave, the director of the Ordnance Research Institute heard that Jiang Chen liked daggers, so he pointed to 2 teeth suitable for making daggers, and said to Smith, "Process these 2 teeth into daggers now, and take them away for brother Jiang later." Smith nodded. He didn't have any objections. After all, there were more than a dozen teeth here. If they were to study, they wouldn't need so many teeth. While Smith was making the steel-toothed beast dagger, the director of the Weapons Research Institute took Jiang Chen to visit some other scientific research projects of their military academy. These projects included desert motorcycles developed by the weapons laboratory, improved missile vehicles and other things. As expected, after visiting their various research projects, the director of the institute told Jiang Chen about his plan to build new desert combat weapons. Jiang Chen had heard the taste of asking for money from his words, but Jiang Chen was not a stingy person. Now many of his groups have entered the profit model. It can be said that the current Sahara group is already a super large company with a market value of unknown billions, so it is reasonable to invest some money in the military. In the afternoon, Smith handed 2 beautifully made steel ruler daggers to Jiang Chen. Before leaving, the director of the Weapons Research Institute looked at Jiang Chen and waved and shouted, "Brother Jiang, remember to notify the Sahara Finance Department to allocate 2 billion to us." In the car, Jiang Chen played with the dagger in his hand. It must be said that the modified dagger is really light and sharp. Jiang Chen can easily cut a piece of iron sheet in half with it. It is really like cutting iron into mud. "Brother Chen, give me one too. I, Wang Panzi, fight various monsters on the edge of the desert every day. If you give me a dagger, maybe one day I can save my life. Brother Chen, you can't lose me as a brother." Wang Panzi looked at the 2 daggers in Jiang Chen's hand and was envious. If Jiang Chen hadn't reminded him to drive carefully, this guy would have driven the car into the ditch. "Okay, we brothers share the difficulties and happiness together. This is for you." Thank you, Brother Chen. Thank you, Brother Chen. Fuck, put your hands on the steering wheel. What dagger do you want? Squeak. With the sound of emergency braking, Jiang Chen's body suddenly fell across the road. Fortunately, there were few cars on the road leading to the military academy, otherwise, it would be strange if there was no accident. Brother Chen, you drive and let me play for a while. Fuck, get out of the way. Jiang Chen drove straight to the Sahara scenic area. A few days after killing the steel-toothed beast, the escaped steel-toothed beast still did not come for revenge, but Jiang Chen had already planned a plan to go to the desert to find the steel-toothed beast. He would not feel at ease until Jiang Chen killed him. In mid-September, the wind and sand in the desert became much lighter, and the fourth super scenic area built by Jiang Chen, the Desert Living Cactus Forest Scenic Area, was officially open to the public. Chapter 461 Archaeological Team Member Sun Mi. September. The completion of the Desert Eye Music World and the autumn concert held by the Chinese Musicians Association at the Desert Eye Music World pushed the giant Saguaro Forest World Scenic Area to a new climax. Jiang Chen personally attended the autumn concert because he was going to meet someone, the person that Director Sun of the Sand Management Bureau asked him to take care of. In the evening, when Jiang Chen drove to the autumn concert, tens of thousands of tourists had gathered outside the autumn concert. Jiang Chen followed the information given by Director Sun and walked straight to a girl in the middle of the music seats. Hello, are you Sun Mi? Although there were many people at the autumn concert, the surroundings were very quiet. Today, the performance was by the Shangjing Orchestra, and they were playing a piece of Bach's music. The music was very soothing, like a field where water flows. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Sun Mi, who was wearing a leather jacket, turned her head and shushed Jiang Chen. The moment Sun Mi turned her head, Jiang Chen was surprised. Sun Mi in front of him had big eyes, a ponytail, and was very tall. She really looked like a Chinese celebrity with a similar name to her. The only difference was that the celebrity's surname was Yang, and his surname was Sun. Be quiet when listening to music. After Sun Mi finished speaking, Jiang Chen nodded. So he sat on the grass next to Sun Mi and listened to the entire concert quietly. When the song ended, Jiang Chen asked again. Before Sun Mi could speak, a young man in sportswear stood up next to Sun Mi, pointed at Jiang Chen and shouted, "Who are you? Why are you asking nonsense?" After the young man finished speaking, Jiang Chen frowned. He didn't know how long it had been since anyone dared to talk to him like this. You don't need to know who I am. I don't need to know. Do you know who I am? I don't care who you are. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, the young man was speechless, and Sun Mi laughed at the side. Liu Zuan, didn't you say that people would recognize you wherever you go? Why, people don't want to know you at all here. After Sun Mi finished speaking, several young people behind her also stood up. There was an old man sitting next to the young people. The old man didn't say anything. After all, young people's problems should be solved by young people. What are you doing? You come here to pick up girls. Do you think you can pick up beautiful girls just because you are good looking? Believe it or not, I will kick you. Kick me. Jiang Chen laughed out loud. The person who dared to kick him in the scenic area was really not born yet. Not to mention that he had a legion of tens of thousands of people. Even if he called Brother Wolf over, Brother Wolf could kick all these people to the ground by himself. You are a guest now. Just enjoy your concert. I won't bother with you. Don't bother with us. Haha, you are afraid because we are so many. After Liu Zuan finished speaking, Sun Mi also looked at Jiang Chen with a smile and said, "How come you are so brave and still want to chat with me? I'm not someone who is so easy to chat with. If you want to know if I'm Sun Mi, then you have to let me see if you have the ability to know." After Sun Mi finished speaking, Jiang Chen sighed. If he didn't give face to Director Sun at this moment, he would definitely knock all these people to the ground. Of course, if this girl was not Director Sun's niece, he would have turned around and left long ago. That's right. Just look at the clothes you're wearing. You must be a poor guy. You have no money, but you're still out here to pick up girls. Aren't you ashamed? This guy not only wants to pick up girls, but also wants to come to the concert for free. I just saw him squatting on the grass next to us to listen to the concert. Needless to say, He must be squatting next to us to listen, because he can't afford a seat. After the other young man finished speaking, Jiang Chen sighed. Why does everyone look down on people who want to get close to beautiful women these days? Also, does it mean that if you don't have money, you really don't deserve to be with beautiful women? Get out of the way, poor bastard. Believe it or not, I'll call the security guards to arrest you for sneaking into the scenic area through a dog hole. Jiang Chen really wanted to take action, but if he did, the self-media would post it online for hype. They would say that the big boss of Sahara Group beat up tourists, which would bring great damage to the reputation of Sahara Group. Okay, you think you are rich, right? See, the seats in the first row over there are empty. If any of you have the guts to go over there and sit and listen, I will admit defeat. The seats in the first row of the concert were reserved for the executives of the Sahara Group. Although the executives of the Sahara Group were not here at the moment, no one dared to sit in that row of seats. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Liu Zuan looked at the nearest row of seats at the concert and sneered. Are you provoking me? Do you think I'm stupid? That row of seats is reserved for the executives of the Sahara Group. Do you think you can sit in that row just because you have money? After Liu Zuan finished speaking, Jiang Chen also sneered and said, you don't dare to sit there, but I do. Not only do I dare to sit in the first row, believe it or not, as long as I sit there, the conductor on the stage will come down and shake my hand. Pretending to be cool, definitely pretending to be cool. I don't believe it. If you have the guts, you can really sit in the first row. After Liu Zuan finished speaking, Jiang Chen strode towards the first row. Jiang Chen had just taken 2 steps when Sun Mi came up and grabbed him. You are such a tactless person. Can't you tell that I'm joking with you? Haha, Sun Mi, don't stop him. Let him go. See if the bodyguards who are maintaining order over there don't blow his head off. After Liu Zuan finished speaking, Jiang Chen looked at Sun Mi and smiled. If she hadn't come to pull him back, Jiang Chen really wouldn't bother to care about her. Okay, just wait and see. Jiang Chen said as he broke free from Sun Mi's hand and walked to the first row. Not only did he walk to the first row, he also walked to the middle seat and sat down. As soon as Jiang Chen sat down, Sun Mi covered her eyes. She could already imagine Jiang Chen being beaten up. After all, this guy actually dared to sit in the middle seat of the first row, which was for people at the vice president level of Sahara Group. It's over. It's over. You guys have gone too far. Even if that guy's not that great, he is still a friend of my distant uncle. If he gets killed, how can I go back to Beijing? It's what he deserves. He sat there by himself. What does it have to do with us? I just can't stand poor bastards who flirt with pretty girls when they see them. After Liu Zuan finished speaking, he deliberately looked at Jiang Chen who was sitting in the front row. However, what surprised him was that the security guards in the first row, who maintained order, not only didn't smash Jiang Chen's head, but instead walked to Jiang Chen respectfully and saluted him. Not only that, when the next performance was about to begin, the famous conductor Tan Songhe walked straight off the stage. After he walked off the stage, he walked to Jiang Chen and stretched out his hand. Although Sun Mi didn't know what Tan Songhe was saying to Jiang Chen from a distance, they saw Jiang Chen also stretched out his hand and shook hands with Tan Songhe. Then Tan Songhe invited Jiang Chen to walk onto the stage together. Oh my god, are you kidding me? He's the most famous conductor in our country. How come he knows this poor bastard? Chapter 462. Invisible pretense is the most deadly. Is that security guard a fool? Why didn't he blow his head off? What's the origin of this guy? He dares to sit in the middle of the first row. You know, even the general manager of Desert Eye Music World doesn't dare to sit in that position. Is he also a musician? How come I've never heard of such a young musician? Is he doing it abroad? But even if he is doing it abroad, such a young man wouldn't be a big name for Tan Songhe to invite him in person. Liu Zuan and the others finished speaking in surprise. The old man beside them also became interested, but the one who was most worried at the moment was the beautiful Sun Mi. Why? Is he okay? My cousin just mentioned a name to me and didn't tell me that he was a great musician. Thank you very much, Dr. Jiang, for coming to my concert. Please take a seat. I'm deeply honored by your presence. On the stage, the conductor raised Jiang Chen's hand, and Jiang Chen bowed to everyone. The performance was about to begin. All the participating musicians stood up and applauded. The first violinist also stretched out his hand. Jiang Chen hurriedly walked over and shook his hand. After coming down from the stage, the conductor signaled, and everyone in the audience applauded Jiang Chen again. When the performance began, Jiang Chen sat alone in the middle of the first row. He did not come to find Sun Mi until the end of the performance. Of course, Sun Mi, Liu Zuan and others did not have the face to run to the first row to listen to the concert. When the performance was about to end, the leaders of Sahara Group, Sahara Scenic Area Construction Group and Desert Giant Saguaro Cactus Forest Scenic Area Group all came. So many big names appeared at the same time, causing a group of people to scream. Yes, most of these screaming people recognize them. Nowadays, if they pretend to pull out a random person's net worth, it would start from several billion. Hey, no matter what kind of musician he is, no matter if he has a doctorate or not, look over there, the senior leaders of Sahara Scenic Area are here, and he will soon run over from the first row like a grandson to find us. Liu Zuan saw that many people came to the scenic area, and he said proudly again. He was upset because Jiang Chen stole the limelight just now. If he could show Jiang Chen a bit of power now, Sun Mi would definitely look up to him again later. Brother Zuan, I bet this kid will roll back from his seat in less than a minute. Another dark-faced young man said, and the old man next to them stroked his beard, smiled and shook his head. How could anyone who dared to sit in the middle of the first row be afraid of these executives of the Sahara Scenic Area? Sun Mi, you were worried about him just now. What's there to worry about for such a person? Look at us, which one of us is not richer than him? That's right, isn't he just a PhD? So what about a PhD? Which one of us has a low education? Who is worried about him? I just think that, if he gets hurt, I won't be able to explain to my family when I get home. Come on, your cousin who works at the Sand Management Bureau, even if he knows a few people, can't know the leaders of large groups in this border area. With your pretty boy, do you expect him to call a few big leaders to see you? After several people finished speaking, Liu Zuan instantly became proud. Liu Zuan is also a child from a wealthy family. He went to the United States to study since junior high school and continued until he graduated from college. Then he returned to China to join their archaeological team funded by Americans. You asked the big boss to come and see you. That guy must have been so scared when he saw the big boss. While the few people were talking, Chen Jianzhao, the president of Sahara Scenic Area Construction Management Group, had already found Jiang Chen sitting on the chair. At this moment, Jiang Chen was still there, listening to the performance seriously. Brother Jiang, didn't you go to pick up Director Sun's relatives? What are you doing here? After Chen Jianzhao saw Jiang Chen, he hurriedly trotted towards Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen, the president of Cactus Scenic Area Management Group, also came, and he also ran over excitedly. On weekdays, the relationship between the few of them was very good. Jiang Chen also liked to come to their place to drink. Sometimes when he drank too much, he liked to stay in the Inn of the Night World. It must be said that the Inn of the Night World is one of Jiang Chen's favorite places. Brother Jiang, you've come at the right time. After the performance is over, I will invite Commander Tan and the others to go to the Xiac Inn for a drink. I just got a few bottles of old wine brewed last year from President Wang. The taste is so good. After the president of the Cactus World Scenic Area finished speaking, Jiang Chen shook his head and said, no, not tonight. Today I have to entertain Director Sun's relative, and his relative is a bit of a thorn. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Chen Jianzhao laughed at the side. Isn't Director Sun's relative a girl? How thorny can this girl be? It doesn't matter. You have to entertain people anyway. I'll set up another table at the lakeside inn later. Your few people won't make a difference. After the president of the Cactus World Scenic Area finished speaking, he whispered secretly, Mr. Yang and the others are preparing to come back from the Inmote district tomorrow to drink my wine. We can't let them get away with it. Okay, then you can set up a separate table for us by the Emerald Lake tonight. Jiang Chen was talking and laughing with the two CEOs, and Jiang Chen did not stand up from the beginning to the end. Instead, the two CEOs came to Jiang Chen to talk. Hey, look, what is the status of this guy? Why are those CEOs of such high status also sitting next to him to chat with him? That's right, shouldn't he be scared away by the P? Why is he still sitting there without moving? He is too arrogant. Many people know the executives of Sahara Group, but what they don't know is that the big boss behind Sahara Group is the young man in front of them. This guy's really interesting. After Sun Mi finished speaking, Liu Zuan behind her sneered and said, "Why, you are interested in him so soon? You are interested in him, but he doesn't buy your account." After Liu Zuan finished speaking, Jiang Chen and Chen Jianzhao and others had stood up from the first row of chairs in the distance and then walked straight towards Sun Mi. "Come on, since you are here, let's go and see Director Sun's niece. Director Sun has been very kind to our Sahara Group. We must not forget our roots." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Chen Jianzhao also smiled and said, "Director Sun has not only made great contributions to our scenic area, but also to the entire Yim Special District. If Director Sun from the Sand Management Bureau had not come here that year, the Yim Special District would have been moved away long ago." Several people walked up to Sun Mi while talking and laughing. After walking up to Sun Mi, several people were stunned when they saw Sun Mi. Chapter 463, The Ultimate Art. They have all seen Director Sun to some extent. Although Director Sun has the fortitude of a soldier, he is just ordinary. So they all have an average impression of Director Sun's relatives. But they never expected that Director Sun's relative is so beautiful. Of course, Sun Mi and others were also stunned at this moment. They never expected that the senior leader who is in charge of such a magical scenic spot would actually come to them in person. "What's wrong? Why are you silent now? Weren't you still a bit of a thorn just now?" Jiang Chen finished speaking, and Chen Jianzhao and others laughed at the side. "You little girl, Director Sun made so many calls to Brother Jiang for you, and Brother Jiang even put down so much work in his hands to come to you, but you didn't even think about visiting Brother Jiang first. You are really a little thorn." After Chen Jianzhao finished speaking, several young people instantly lowered their heads in front of so many big figures. Yes, this is the attitude of a superior. How can I be a troublemaker? You didn't even tell me that my cousin introduced you. You came up and asked me who I was, Sun Mi. How could I answer you? What if you are a bad guy? I have to protect myself. After Sun Mi finished speaking, Jiang Chen was about to talk to Liu Zuan, but Dr. Fang Hua of the archaeological team came towards Jiang Chen. Even if the children were making a fuss, it was still up to him, the team leader, to sort it out. "Hello, I'm the team leader of the archaeological team. My name is Fang Hua." Dr. Fang Hua is in his 50s. Perhaps because he often lives outdoors, he looks much older than he actually is. But it is also because of this that he looks like a very knowledgeable person, and this kind of temperament is far beyond the reach of those who sit in the office. "Hello, I'm Jiang Chen." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, he stretched out his hand and shook hands with Dr. Fang Hua. "Our archaeological team is going to look for the ancient city of the Salmon dynasty buried in the desert. We passed by this place and took a break here to replenish supplies, so the children were offended just now." After Fang Hua finished speaking, Jiang Chen could tell from his calm expression that this person was definitely a person who had seen a lot of things. He was definitely not an ordinary person. After all, apart from Li Yiran and Anna, few people could talk to him so calmly when they met people of his status. Of course, except for Fatty Wang, that idiot Wang Fatty was still thinking about beating himself every day. "There are so many people here, it's not the time to talk. My good brother prepared a dinner for us by the Emerald Lake in the evening. Today, please go to the Emerald Lake for the dinner." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, he looked at the sky. There were already some red sunsets floating on the blue sky. Applause sounded behind him, and the performance was over. After the performance, the president of the Desert Eye Music World Scenic Area, who was waiting on the side, hurriedly walked to the stage with a bouquet of flowers and presented them to the conductor and the first guitar player. After the president of the music world presented the flowers, warm applause soon rang out around him. It must be said that the standard of the Cactus World Autumn Concert is indeed very high. It has the best sound effects in the world, and it also has the most musically savvy tourists in the world. Many tourists are students from various colleges and universities or music workers from major music institutions. They come from all over the country to listen to this concert. Brother Jiang, it's time to go on stage to give a speech. If Jiang Chen didn't come today, then the closing speech of this concert should be given by Chen Jianzhao of the Sahara Scenic Area Construction and Management Group. But now that Jiang Chen is here, it is time for Jiang Chen to give a speech, so as to fully reflect Jiang Chen's respect for his music colleagues. Yes, Jiang Chen said and led everyone to the stage. Every inch of land and every oasis under Jiang Chen's feet is his hard work, so he cherishes it especially. Now that he has the opportunity to carry forward this land, how could he miss this opportunity? Jiang Chen just took a few steps. He looked back at Sun Mi and Dr. Fang, and then he gestured to the two of them to eat. Before Sun Mi and Fang Hua could refuse, Jiang Chen had already walked away. I don't know, when Jiang Chen started to feel like a domineering CEO, Jiang Chen walked onto the stage and shook hands with conductor Tan Sung-Hua again. Great, the acoustics here are definitely the best I've ever seen in the world. If there's a chance, I hope my 30th anniversary concert will also be held here. Tan Sung-Hua spoke very sincerely, without any sense of hypocrisy. Indeed, the sound system at the Music World Open Air Concert Center is definitely the best in the world. The design here also makes full use of the echo of the desert eye hole, and he has achieved the ultimate sound. No problem, just tell us the time, when the time comes. After replying to Tan Sung-Hua, the host handed the microphone to Jiang Chen. Standing in front of the microphone, in front of tens of thousands of spectators, Jiang Chen, who didn't have manuscript in his hand, didn't know what to say for a moment, but he soon calmed down. Thank you all for coming. When autumn comes, there will be autumn concerts in many places around the world. When I first built the Eye of the Sahara Music World, many people doubted me. They asked me, who would perform in the desert, and who would brave the wind and sand to listen? But today I want to tell them, that when you do something to the extreme, it is an art in itself. Just like my Eye of the Desert Music World, I do it to the extreme, and I make every sound of it inspiring, so I believe no one will refuse such wonderful music. In addition, I'm announcing that the Eye of the Desert Music World will aim to be a world-famous world concert. In the future, you can call it the music capital. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, tens of thousands of people applauded instantly. The applause was overwhelming, which made everyone excited. At this moment, Sun Mi in the audience couldn't help but have her eyes shining. Indeed, Jiang Chen spoke very well, and his determination was admirable. People who refuse to admit defeat will always have a moving side, and Sun Mi likes such great heroes. When Jiang Chen came down from the stage, the president of the Music World Scenic Area introduced the future plan of the music world to everyone. The plan includes holding 4 seasons concerts, weekend music salons, pop music festivals and other music events. In the future, everyone who comes to the Cactus Forest world will be able to see unparalleled concerts. When the last rays of light disappeared in the sky, the night fell little by little. It was another full moon night, and the Emerald Lake was quiet. A round moon, reflected in the water, stunned countless tourists. The Emerald Lake Hotel, which extends from the lakeside to the lake, is also very quiet. In an open-air pavilion in the lake, it is full of people. The people sitting here to eat are none other than Jiang Chen, Guan Ku, and Dr. Fang Hua and their expedition team. Chapter 464, Tombstone in the Death Desert. The orange lights and the moon in the sky rippled in the water, and the lake's surface was covered with ripples. Oh my god, this restaurant is probably the best restaurant in the Cactus Forest World Scenic Area. If you eat here, it will probably cost more than a few thousand yuan. What are you thinking? You want to eat here for a few thousand yuan? Those who can eat here are all well known, right? This meal will cost at least tens of thousands, right? It's such an honor today. I didn't expect that your cousin would introduce such an excellent man to you. Sun Mi, what nonsense are you talking about? That's just someone my cousin knows. After Sun Mi finished speaking, her face became a little confused. While several people were talking, Jiang Chen also walked over from the small bridge. Just now, he called Director Sun of the Sand Management Bureau and told others that he had received a call. Everyone, don't be polite, eat quickly, just treat this place as your own home. The round table was already filled with various delicious dishes, all of which were produced from the grassland. All the food was pure green, and without any additives. Dr. Fang Hua poured a glass of wine, and toasted Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen also toasted them back. After 3 rounds of wine, several people began to talk about their daily lives. I heard that you are going to find the ancient city of the Salmon dynasty. That thing is not easy to find. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Dr. Fang Hua nodded and said, it is difficult to find, but you have to find it. I have studied the history of the western regions for decades. My dream is to find the ancient city of the Salmon dynasty buried by the wind and sand. Especially now, with the movement of the desert, it is very likely that the ancient city has been moved to the ground by the Earth's crust. That's right. Do you know the Salmon dynasty? The Salmon dynasty was the most powerful western dynasty in the world. They plundered the property of the entire western region and gathered in the royal city, but such a powerful dynasty suddenly disappeared overnight. Don't you want to know what happened? After Dr. Fang Hua's assistant finished speaking, Jiang Chen shook his head. What does the Salmon dynasty have to do with him? He is just a person who builds scenic spots. He is not an explorer or an archaeologist, and he is not very interested in history. Naturally, he doesn't know all this. The desert is very dangerous. I advise you not to explore the desert. Jiang Chen finished speaking. Liu Zuan looked at Jiang Chen and said, are you afraid? Only cowards dare not go to the desert. We are all upright men. We are not afraid of anything. Liu Zuan said it proudly. Jiang Chen smiled helplessly. This group of people really won't give up until they hit the wall. They have never been to the desert, so they naturally don't know how dangerous it is. Especially the death desert in front of them. There is not only unbearable high temperature and cold, but also those bottomless quicksands and strange monsters. So they may not have found the Samana dynasty before Gudo died on the road. The danger of the desert is far beyond your imagination. I'm just reminding you. It is up to you to decide whether you want to go or not. By the way, Sun Mi, your uncle asked me to tell you to turn back from the wrong path. If you don't want to go back to Shangjing, stay in my scenic area. Your uncle asked me to arrange a job for you. You can choose any job you like in my scenic area. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Sun Mi lowered her head. I won't stay. The meaning of life is to take risks. I'm either taking risks or on the way to take risks. If I'm allowed to be comfortable, it would be better to kill me, so I will follow Professor Fang Hua and the others to the desert. After Sun Mi finished speaking, several other young people also nodded. The meaning of life lies in exercise, and this adventure is also a kind of exercise. Especially the story of the Salmon dynasty is so exciting. Now there is a chance to uncover his mystery. How could they miss this opportunity? It's up to you. I'm just passing on your cousin's words. Okay, now that the dishes are served, let's eat. Although the dinner was a little awkward at first, the group of people soon fell for the grassland delicacies. Amid the clinking of glasses and the grassland mutton, a group of people drank wine, ate meat and talked about their ideals. The atmosphere was quite harmonious. After the banquet, everyone began to disperse. The scenic area management group specially prepared rooms for the desert archaeological team. A group of people supported each other and went to rest drunkenly. Jiang Chen has a good alcohol tolerance, especially because he has the blessing of the system. He can hardly feel how drunk he is. Hey, are you free? Can you walk with me by the lake? Just as Jiang Chen was about to leave Emerald Lake, Sun Mi called him from behind. Jiang Chen looked back at Sun Mi who was standing under the street light. At this moment, Sun Mi had a long ponytail and looked stubborn and unyielding. She made people feel, okay, I don't have anything to do at night. Jiang Chen also felt that, since Director Sun had asked him to do it, he should indeed have a good talk with the girl in front of him about the death desert. So the two of them walked along the silent Emerald Lake. Under the silver moonlight, the two of them had only walked a few steps when the cool breeze from the lake blew, and Sun Mi felt a little cold. Jiang Chen took off his shirt and put it on her shoulders. Sun Mi did not refuse. She was still enjoying the warmth brought to her by the shirt. I have read your information. Your parents died on the way to the desert exploration. You have come to the desert yourself. Why don't you take the expedition team to the desert to see what's going on? After Sun Mi finished speaking, she looked up at Jiang Chen, her eyes full of stars. The time has not come yet. I think now is an opportunity. Jiang Chen, join us. Professor Fang Hua is a professor with rich experience in field archaeology. He has led teams into the desert 3 times in a row and has always escaped unscathed. I think now is an opportunity to make a name for ourselves. As long as we find the ancient city, the whole world will remember our names. I hope they remember my name when one day I turn the entire desert into an oasis. Not when they remember my name and my name is engraved on the tombstone of the death desert. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Sun Mi felt that there was nothing more to say about this topic, because she felt that Jiang Chen was a person who had his own ideas like her and would always stick to his own ideas, so she couldn't persuade him. Well, everyone has their own aspirations. You are so rich now, you definitely can't compete with us barefoot people. By the way, we will enter the desert tomorrow. Professor Fang Hua has calculated the time. Although the time has not yet arrived, if we don't leave tomorrow, the Europa expedition will arrive at the ancient capital of Salmon before us. Chapter 465. Let's go, Desert Expedition Team. Jiang Chen was a little surprised. He thought that only Fang Hua's archaeological team came to find the ancient capital of the Samanid dynasty. He never expected that Europe also sent an archaeological team. It seems that there are quite a few people who know the contents of my grandfather's diary. Jiang Chen sighed, and Sun Mi asked beside him, what diary? No, there is no diary. By the way, there are many dangers in the desert, and I don't have anything to give you. This dagger is my favorite thing, so I'll give it to you. Jiang Chen knew that he couldn't persuade Sun Mi, but Director Sun did help him a lot back then. So he stretched out his hand and pulled out a sharp dagger from his trouser leg. This dagger was the super dagger made for him by the Sahara Weapon Research Laboratory using the teeth of a steel-toothed beast. Sun Mi took the dagger, and she didn't refuse. Sun Mi just thought that, although this kind of dagger was expensive, for a rich man like Jiang Chen, he could buy as many as he wanted. So, she just kept it as a souvenir. Since you gave me a gift, I will give you one too. Sun Mi said, and she reached out to unbutton her shirt. When Jiang Chen saw her unbuttoning his sleeves, he waved his hands hurriedly and said, no, 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 it's a gentleman's friendship. I'm not a casual person. What are you thinking? Sun Mi was really angry and wanted to laugh. How dirty is this guy? She just unbuttoned her clothes so that she could give him the amulet hanging around her neck. This is for you. Although it's not worth much, it's also what I have worn since I was a child. Sun Mi said, and handed Jiang Chen a small jade pendant tied with a red string. When he took the jade pendant from the handlebars, it still had the fragrance of Sun Mi. Okay, then I'll take it. A steel-toothed beast dagger in exchange for a small jade pendant. Jiang Chen was paying for it, no matter how you look at it. But gifts are like things that are not worth much, but the sentiment is important. Hey, I gave you such a valuable thing, you should at least say thank you. Sun Mi looked at Jiang Chen with a little anger. Jiang Chen smiled and shrugged his shoulders. This woman is really strange. It was obviously given to me by you, and this small jade plate doesn't look that valuable. But how can a man be fussy with a woman? Okay, thank you then. That's more like it. By the way, if you are really worried about my safety, you can come to the desert to find me. Don't worry, I will protect you in the desert. Sun Mi is a bold and unrestrained girl. She speaks like a man. Jiang Chen smiled and said nothing. If they were in the desert, it would be hard to say who would protect whom. Besides, it was impossible for Jiang Chen to go to the desert to find him. Sun Mi was a person with nothing to do, but Jiang Chen was very busy. There were so many things waiting for him to deal with in the Sahara group, and the monster in the desert had not been caught yet. How could he go to the desert to find a woman who had nothing to do with him? At night, after Jiang Chen sent Sun Mi to the inn, he returned to the wooden house town. The next day, the archaeological team set out from the world of nights and went straight to the depths of the desert. Jiang Chen ignored them. There was no news of the steel-toothed beast in the desert grassland scenic area for several days. Just when Jiang Chen thought that the steel-toothed beast had died in the desert, another bad news came from the grassland scenic area. Manager Lau called Jiang Chen and said that the locusts in the desert had obviously decreased a lot in the past few days. Manager Lau suspected that the steel-toothed beast was not dead. There were fewer and fewer locusts in the desert, and it was very likely that they were all eaten by the steel beast. When he heard that the steel-toothed beast had eaten the desert locusts, this was unacceptable. Jiang Chen immediately drove to the desert grassland scenic area. After arriving at the desert grassland scenic area, Manager Lau and Fatty Wang from the food group were both there. Look at this locust, its butt has been bitten off. It must have been done by the steel-toothed beast. Kill it, we must kill it. Otherwise, what if it runs to my farm and eats all my cattle and sheep? Fatty Wang started arguing with a few people at the place where Jiang Chen had just driven away. Speaking of killing the steel-toothed beast, Manager Lau looked at Fatty Wang and said, "It's not easy to kill the steel-toothed beast. The desert is so big, how do we know where the steel-toothed beast is now?" When a few people saw Jiang Chen coming, they greeted him. Jiang Chen also nodded. "Brother Jiang, come and have a look. These are all injured yellow insects. Some of these locusts have lost their butts, some have lost a leg, and some have even had half of their heads bitten off. We all think it was done by the escaped steel-toothed beast." After Manager Lau finished speaking, Fatty Wang also hurriedly said, "Brother Chen, there is no time to lose. We must go to the desert to find that guy." Jiang Chen also felt that it was time to kill the steel-toothed beast. After all, Jiang Chen would not be able to sleep well until this guy died. Jiang Chen was worried every day that this guy would suddenly appear in the scenic area and chase the tourists to eat them. Okay, but how can we find it? The desert is not like here. We can use satellites to locate what we want to locate, but there is no signal in the desert. Even the satellite is foggy. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Fatty Wang suddenly remembered something. A few months ago, they organized a desert expedition team. They wanted to go to the desert to find the source of desert locusts. Now looking at these injured desert locusts, Fatty Wang felt that this thing must be at the source of desert locusts. So this means that, as long as the source of desert locusts is found, the injured desert steel-toothed beast will also be found. Fatty Wang told Jiang Chen his idea, and Jiang Chen nodded. Fatty Wang, who had only been doing business for a few days, had become so smart. After a few people discussed it, they prepared to follow the desert expedition team to find the source of desert locusts and kill the injured steel-toothed beast at the same time. At the end of September, Jiang Chen's expedition team to find desert locusts set out from the desert grassland scenic area to the desert. This time Jiang Chen brought a total of 7 people. Desert guide Uncle Bata, Jiang Chen's best friend Wang Pangzi, and Jiang Chen's #1 bodyguard Brother Long. In addition, there were 3 special forces selected from the Sahara Legion who were familiar with the desert and had particularly strong combat skills. In the early morning, after riding camels from the grassland scenic area to the desert for only 10 miles, the desert began to get hot. The high temperature in the death desert really surprised everyone. Jiang Chen also came out of the desert alone to farm, but he always drove out. There was air conditioning in the car, which could adjust the temperature in the car at any time. But this time they were ready for a long journey, so they rode the desert ship camel. Therefore, they walked very slowly. Just at noon, Wang Pangzi shouted, "Because of the heat, no, it's too hot. The temperature must be at least 40 degrees. Brother Chen, let's take a break before setting off again." If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 466, I'm God in the Desert. Jiang Chen saw that they had only walked 10 miles, and Fatty Wang wanted to rest. He looked at Fatty Wang and said, "We have only walked a short distance. If you want to rest, just go home." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Fatty Wang said awkwardly, "It's not me who needs to rest, I think it's our camels that need to rest." While the two were talking, Uncle Borku pointed to a small pile of sand that was gradually rising in the distance and shouted, "Look what's over there. There are patches of small mushrooms there. Are they steel-toothed beasts?" Several people looked in the direction of his hand, and sure enough, a dense mass of earth appeared on a sand dune with its back to the sun. The earth mound was not very big, about the size of a fist, and it was still shaking. Let's go see what's going on. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, he rode his camel to the bottom of the sand dune. When he got to the bottom of the sand dune, he was stunned. At this moment, in front of Jiang Chen, there was a whole huge sand dune, all of which were densely packed with small earth mounds. Fortunately, Jiang Chen did not have intensive phobia, otherwise, he would have got goosebumps. What is this? It's definitely not a desert steel-toothed beast. Jiang Chen finished speaking, and Brother Long jumped off the camel. He took a dagger and stabbed it into the earthen mound on the sand dune. Puff. When Brother Long stabbed it, he felt that he had stabbed something fleshy. He pulled the knife out of the sandbag and directly pulled out a desert locust. Seeing that it was a desert locust, the group of people breathed a sigh of relief. It's a desert locust. It seems that the direction we are going is right. I was wondering how these guys could survive in such a hot temperature in the desert. It turns out that they are hiding in the sand. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, the group of people continued to rush into the depths of the desert in the direction of the locusts. Jiang Chen walked until noon, and the surrounding temperature had reached more than 60 degrees. Rayos Jiang Chen and others wore sunproof clothes, but they still couldn't stand the high temperature of the desert, so a group of people had to find a place to enlarge the desert yurt. After the yurt was built, the group of people hiding in the desert yurt that could adjust the temperature was really much cooler. Jiang Chen sat in the yurt, looking at the hot desert outside. He was a little worried about the Fanghe archaeological team. The archaeological team did not have a desert tent. How could they withstand the heat in the desert and the cold at night? But these things were not something he could worry about. When the weather gradually became cooler, Jiang Chen and his team set off again. Every mile in the desert was very difficult. After dark, Jiang Chen and his team had only traveled more than 30 miles. At night, the cold wind in the desert blew. The cold wind blew on people, and it was as cold as biting. After Jiang Chen and his team walked for several hours in the night, they set up a tent next to a sand dune. When Jiang Chen had just set up the tent, he suddenly heard someone calling under the crescent moon. The voice was a little weak, but the desert at night was so quiet that they could hear it clearly now. Fatty Wang, did you hear anyone calling for help? No, I can't hear anything at all. Brother Chen, go to sleep quickly. Let's not meddle in other people's business. There are many demons in this desert. They specifically lure you into the desert, then trap you in quicksand and eat you. After Fatty Wang finished speaking, Jiang Chen was more certain that someone must be shouting in the desert. So Jiang Chen kicked Fatty to wake him up, then grabbed him and walked out of the tent. Brother Chen, there is nothing outside. The sound you heard might be the sound of some animal. Even the sound of locusts is normal. Fatty Wang started shouting while struggling. This was indeed a deadly desert. Who would be so idle that they would come here to play? Jiang Chen didn't believe Fatty Wang's lies. He listened to the sound quietly, then followed the sound, and dragged Fatty Wang to walk with him towards the shouting. Jiang Chen had just walked a mile or two when their guide Uncle Baku hurriedly ran out of the tent and called them. Don't go over there, it's very dangerous here. This is a quicksand area, there's quicksand everywhere. If you're not careful you'll die. Uncle Baku finished speaking. Fatty Wang screamed over there, and he became nervous. Brother Chen, save me, Brother Chen, save me. Fatty Wang felt like he had fallen into something, and as soon as he struggled his body sank into the sand. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't get out. What's wrong with Fatty Wang? Quicksand is quicksand. Damn it, I just wanted to go to the toilet here. Fatty Wang was terrified in the quicksand. After all, he had heard of how scary quicksand is. Don't struggle. Don't move. Moving there will only sink deeper. So don't move. Wait for us to rescue you. Jiang Chen shouted and looked at Baku, who pointed at Jiang Chen and shouted, I'll go lead the camel. You go get the rope. Somehow, the sandstorm started again at night. When Baku, Jiang Chen, and Brother Wolf led the camel and took the rope back to the desert, the sandstorm had covered their footsteps, and they couldn't even find where Fatty Wang went. Damn it, Fatty Wang, where the hell are you? Hurry up and call me back. Jiang Chen shouted towards the desert, but in this endless desert, every sand dune looked so similar to another sand dune. Where could they find anyone? Fatty Wang waited in the quicksand for a long time, but didn't see Jiang Chen and the others coming, so he became puzzled. But when the sandstorm blew, Fatty Wang's heart instantly sank, because he saw that their footsteps on their way back were covered by the sandstorm. Brother Chen, save me. At least leave someone here. Fatty Wang shouted for a long time. His body sank further back because of his struggle. Now the quicksand has reached his stomach. If he moves again, Jiang Chen may not look for him when he comes. Am I, Fatty Wang, going to die here? It's such a pathetic death. Fatty Wang said in despair. There was nothing around except the crescent moon. Fatty Wang, you son of a bitch, you can't die in the desert. If you die here, where can I dig you out? Jiang Chen shouted towards the desert and cried alone in grief. Fatty Wang was his only relative in his hometown. He walked forward in the direction of the moonlight. Borku stopped Jiang Chen. You can't go forward. There are quicksand areas ahead. You may not be able to find him and lose your life. No, I must find him. Fatty Wang is waiting for me to save him. This is all God's will. We can't stop anyone who God wants to let go. After Borku finished speaking, Jiang Chen pointed at him and roared, I don't care about gods or not. In the desert, I'm God, and everything in the desert has to listen to me. No, don't say such things in the desert. The desert god will blame you. After Borku finished speaking, he was so scared that he knelt on the ground and prayed to the desert god for forgiveness. Chapter 467. Man conquers nature. Respected Lord of the Desert, please forgive this young and ignorant child. Borku kept bowing to the desert. He had lived in the desert for most of his life, and he knew the horror of the desert better than anyone else. Once they offended the god of the desert would blame them, and they, a group of tiny humans, would be wiped out in an instant, like ants in the desert. You are young and ignorant. Haha, I don't care about the god of the desert or not. My brother's life is mine. Even if it is a god, don't think of taking it away. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Borku was even more frightened and almost peed. Even if he begged the god of the desert like this, the god of the desert might not forgive them. Jiang Chen actually cursed the god of the desert like this. Isn't this obviously courting death? Shut up. Come and worship the god of the desert with me and ask for forgiveness from the god of the desert. I will kill the camel right away, use the camel to sacrifice to the god of the desert, and we will also leave the desert and return to Mojiang right away. After Borku finished speaking, Jiang Chen looked at the desert and sneered. Since you are a god, I have to defeat you. I have to tell you that I don't care what kind of god you are. In front of me, man can conquer nature. Jiang Chen took out his mobile phone and charged more than 300 million yuan, then clicked on one-click planting. Under the dim moonlight, the breeze of the desert still came from his feet, but he insisted on sliding his mobile phone and a golden light fell to the ground. Under the moonlight, a piece of green spread from his feet like a carpet, instantly covering the entire sand dune. The moonlight became bright at some point, and the surrounding wind and sand disappeared. The green grass on the ground stretched its body in the desert. They were like dolls that had been holding back for a long time, growing wildly. Ah, God, it turns out that you are the real god. You are the god of Oasis. Borku was stunned, and he instinctively knelt down. Borku knelt on the ground like this, watching the green grass struggling to grow out from his fingertips little by little. He felt the tenderness of the grass. He felt the fragrance of the grass. He knelt there and dared not move. At this moment, not only him, but also Brother Wolf and the 3 Sahara Legion soldiers beside him were stunned at the same time. They didn't believe in gods either, but they didn't believe that Jiang Chen could turn the desert into an oasis with his own hands. If they had to explain, then how else could they explain Jiang Chen, except that he was a god? God is always the most revered thing in people's hearts. Plop. In an instant, Brother Wolf and the 3 soldiers also knelt on the ground. Yes, in this world, the Death Desert can defeat everything, but Jiang Chen in front of them can defeat the desert. Even if he is not a god, he is still a god in their hearts. Fatty Wang, I said I won't let you die, and I will never let you die in the desert. Jiang Chen said, and walked on the green land towards the moonlight. At this moment, even if he walked through every corner of the desert, he would pull Fatty Wang out of the desert. Even if it was a corpse, he would bury it on the mountain of Wanjiang. In the night, when Fatty Wang fell into despair, suddenly a piece of fragrant grass around him drilled out from the ground, and the quicksand under his feet was instantly covered by the fragrant grass. What's going on? The strange phenomenon in front of him made Wang Pangzi hard to believe. But Wang Pangzi knew that he had been saved, so Wang Pangzi desperately shouted to the surroundings. Save me, I'm here, save me. After Wang Pangzi shouted, the light of a flashlight came from a distance. Wang Pangzi was overjoyed when he saw this. He also quickly turned on the flashlight he was carrying and flashed it towards the distance. The light appeared in the night, as if he saw a lighthouse on the endless sea. Jiang Chen hurried towards Wang Pangzi's light, and soon Jiang Chen found Wang Pangzi. Brother Jiang, do you know? These grasses grew out from my side. It's simply a miracle. Don't say it, I'll save you right away. Jiang Chen didn't want to reveal his magical powers, but in order to save his brother, he really had no choice. Jiang Chen reached out to dig the sand around Wang Pangzi, and the sand had been imprisoned by the lawn. Jiang Chen dug for a long time, and the sand had buried Wang Pangzi's stomach, and it couldn't be dug out at all. Brother Jiang, we are here to help you. Brother Lang and others rushed over with shovels in the distance. After a few people ran over, they quickly dug out Fatty Wang, who fell into the pit. After being dug out, Fatty Wang kept sighing, I'm so unlucky. I almost peed myself to death. Help, help. Just as a few people dug Fatty Wang out, the familiar voice came from a distance again. Hearing the faint voice, Brother Lang immediately picked up the shovel and shouted, this damn demon actually wants to seduce us. Brothers, let's go and fight him. After Fatty Wang finished speaking, several people followed the voice and rushed towards the desert in the distance. After walking in the grass for a few minutes and climbing over a sand dune, they found the source of the shouting. At the bottom of a sand dune, a football-like object appeared on the green grass with black hair on it. It's right there. Brothers, go and kill him. After Wang Pangzi shouted, Wolf brother and the others rushed to the side of the round-headed monster. They were all dumbfounded. This guy was not a desert demon at all. He was a person, a living person. Save me, I'm from the expedition team, the Chinese expedition team. Jiang Chen turned on the flashlight and shone it on the head. The man's face was pale and his lips were as dry as the land that hadn't rained for several years. This man looked very familiar. Jiang Chen suddenly remembered that his name was Ma Ji, and he was a member of Sun Mi's archaeological team. Quick, dig him out quickly. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, several people took shovels and started to dig him out. Because Ma Ji was buried deep, several people dug for more than half an hour before digging Ma Ji out of the sand. After Ma Ji was dug out, he couldn't move his whole body. Now he was seriously dehydrated, and because he hadn't eaten for 2 days, his strength had been exhausted. After several people carried Ma Ji to the tent, Uncle Borku hurriedly took out some water and gave it to Ma Ji to drink. Ma Ji fell into a deep sleep at night. Jiang Chen sat outside the station, lying on the grass, looking at the sky full of stars, and was in a daze. He never expected that Sun Mi would also go to the desert in his direction. None of them, the desert archaeological team, carried guns. If they encountered the desert steel-toothed beast, none of them would be able to escape. Ma Ji slept until the evening of the next day, and then woke up. The first thing Ma Ji said when he woke up was to call Jiang Chen for help. At this moment, Jiang Chen was studying the map in the tent. He heard Ma Ji shouting and hurried in. Boss Jiang, hurry up and save Professor Fang Hua and Sun Mi. What's wrong? What happened to Professor Fang Hua and Sun Mi? After Ma Ji finished speaking, Jiang Chen had a bad premonition again. Did Professor Fang Hua and Ma Ji really encounter the steel-toothed beast? Chapter 468, Wind-Eroded Mushroom Forest. Our archaeological team met the European archaeological team on the road. The European archaeological team had a lot of people, and they had guns. They robbed us, and took away Professor Fang Hua and his team. Ma Ji started to cry after he finished speaking. When Jiang Chen heard that Professor Fang Hua and his team were robbed by the European archaeological team, he instantly became furious. Damn it, they are looking for death. They dare to rob us Chinese people on my territory. I will make sure they die without a burial place." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Fatty Wang asked, "Then how did you survive?" "We met them in the quicksand area. I fell into the quicksand. Professor Fang and others wanted to rescue me, and we happened to meet the European archaeological team. There were mercenaries in their archaeological team, and when they saw me fall into the quicksand, they did not kill me. They wanted me to starve to death here." After Margie finished speaking, even Fatty Wang could not help but curse. "How cruel. Brother Jiang, I can't stand this matter. How about we go find those Europeans and fight them first, and then find the steel-toothed beast?" After Fatty Wang finished speaking, Uncle Baku shook his head and said, "Don't go looking for trouble with that group of people. They are very powerful. They are all mercenaries living in the city of Kosa. They are all inhumane." Baku is very familiar with the situation here. When talking about Kosa City, Jiang Chen frowned and asked, "Where is Kosa City? What do you do? Which government is in charge of it?" Kosa City is not under the control of any country. It is in the desert. It used to be the base of Al-Qaeda, but now it has become a paradise for mercenaries and criminal groups from various countries. Uncle Baku finished speaking, and Jiang Chen realized that there were not only his armed forces on the border of the desert, but also other armed tribes. It seems that he has to be careful of these people in the future. No matter what kind of armed forces or Al-Qaeda they are, as long as they dare to capture our people, I will never let them succeed. Margie told me their marching route, and we will chase them now." Jiang Chen finished speaking, and Margie took out a map from his body. He pointed to several points marked on the map, and said to Jiang Chen, "We plan to come here first. There is an underground river here. After taking water from the underground river, we will go to the Old Wolf Den. There are several mushroom forests in the Old Wolf Den, where we can temporarily avoid the wind and sand." "Okay, let's go to the underground river first." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, several people hurried on their way. Jiang Chen and his camels were all good camels, and in order to be able to march for a long time in the desert, they also brought more than a dozen camels. A group of camels followed the green grass and quickly passed the quicksand area. According to their calculations, because the quicksand area was nearly 30 miles in radius, these people had to test many roads, so their march would definitely not be fast. That means the archaeological team will reach the underground river at noon tomorrow, but Jiang Chen turned the entire quicksand area into grassland in order to save Fatty Wang, so they marched very quickly, and they only needed 2 hours to cross the quicksand area. This also means that they will reach the underground river in the evening tomorrow. If Jiang Chen and his guess is correct, the archaeological team of Europa will make adjustments at the underground river, so they should meet at the underground river in the evening. After a sleepless night, Jiang Chen's adventure team kept moving forward along the desert. In the middle, they passed more than a dozen dangerous sand dunes, but fortunately Uncle Baku had rich experience in the desert, and they were not injured. In the evening of the next day, Jiang Chen arrived at the underground river area on time. After arriving at the underground river, they followed the address of the underground river marked on the map, and began to search along the river. Until the sun was about to set, they finally found a cave entrance in a low-lying area. When Jiang Chen looked down from the cave entrance, he felt the sound of gurgling water. After several people replenished the water source, they continued to look for the accommodation area of the Europa archaeological team. They walked along the river until dark. When the crescent moon hung in the sky, they found a pile of extinguished firewood under a leeward sand dune. Jiang Chen touched the ashes, which were already cold, which meant that the European archaeological team had left here for a long time. "Brother Jiang, these Europeans did not stay here. They may have gone directly to the mushroom forest. After all, compared with the unknown riverbed, the safety of the mushroom forest is obvious. Well, it seems that they have been gone for a long time. If we chase them now, I'm afraid we may not be able to catch up, especially now that it is so cold around at night. Let's set off tomorrow." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, they prepared to find a place to set up camp. According to their plan, they will be able to reach the mushroom forest at noon tomorrow. It is not far from the mushroom forest to the ancient city, so Jiang Chen believes that they should adjust their camp in the mushroom forest and then set off directly to find the ancient capital the day after tomorrow morning. When Jiang Chen was setting up the tent, Brother Wolf suddenly found a new bonfire. Brother Wolf reached out and touched it. The ash was still a little hot. Brother Jiang, we found a campfire here that is a bit hot. The people here must have just left not long ago. After Brother Wolf finished speaking, Jiang Chen hurriedly followed him to see. Sure enough, there was a large campfire on the ground. This should be the place for cooking. In addition, according to some wrapping papers thrown on the ground and the words on them, it can be firmly concluded that this is the Europa archaeological team he is looking for. Two campfires appeared at once, which surprised Jiang Chen. Could it be that there are more than just the Europa archaeological team looking for the ancient city? Margie, are there other people looking for the ancient city this time? Jiang Chen asked Margie, after he finished speaking. Margie shook his head and said, I don't know much about this. I only know that the Europa archaeological team brought mercenaries, about 17 people, and they kidnapped our archaeological team. Forget it, no matter how many archaeological teams there are, as long as they come to the desert, they must abide by the rules of my desert. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, he did not let everyone continue to rest, but continued to chase forward. Several people chased until the early morning, when the sun shone from the depths of the desert. The dazzling sunlight quickly swept away the darkness of the desert. When they arrived at the mushroom forest, the surrounding terrain had completely changed. Other places were all towering sand dunes, but the mushroom forest was not like that. There was a large piece of flat land in the mushroom forest, and many soil pillars appeared in the flat land. These soil pillars were blown into various shapes because of the long-term invasion and polishing of wind and sand. Jiang Chen looked at the endless tall, short, thick and thin soil mushrooms in the distance and couldn't help asking, is that the mushroom forest in front? Yes, this is the mushroom forest. These soil pillars are all blown by the wind. Look, there are footprints over there. They must have entered the mushroom forest. Chapter 469, Mushroom Forest Gunfight. A series of footprints appeared at the entrance to the mushroom forest, and the wind and sand had not yet completely covered it. Judging from the thickness and size of the footprints, they should be white people's footprints, which further confirmed the news that the European archaeological team came here. Hurry up and enter the combat mode. Everyone take your weapons and follow me. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, he left Uncle Baku and Margie to guard their luggage and tents. He took Fatty Wang, Brother Long and 3 special forces into the desert. Several people walked forward along the footsteps, and the mushroom forest in front of them looked like a huge maze. Although each of these mushrooms looks different, there are too many to resist, so it didn't take long for several people to get lost in the middle. Fatty Wang took out the compass and looked at it and said, Brother Chen, this place is really fucking big, let's take a break. Look at the footsteps of these white people, they are also walking in a mess. As soon as Fatty Wang finished speaking, there was a sudden bang of gunfire in the distance. Jiang Chen's sixth sense was very sharp. After hearing the gunshots, he hurriedly chased in one direction. Let's go, hurry up and catch up. Yes. Several people followed Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen ran very fast. He always seemed like a man with endless energy. Several people passed through a dense mushroom forest. The sound of gunfire was getting closer and closer. From time to time, there were even the sounds of grenades exploding, followed by the sound of mushrooms collapsing. Damn it, don't destroy it here. I'm hoping to make this place green and a scenic spot in the future. Jiang Chen cursed and ran faster. When passing through a canyon, 2 groups of people finally appeared in front of them. The 2 groups were having a fierce gun battle in a relatively low mushroom forest. To Jiang Chen's surprise, the fighting was between a white army and a yellow army. Did China send an expedition team as well? Jiang Chen was a little curious, but as far as he knew, China had no intention of sending an expedition team at all. It shouldn't be. Look at the guns those people are using. They are not Chinese guns. They should be Japanese. Several people whispered behind the wind column. When they heard that they were Japanese, Jiang Chen's original idea of killing the Europeans behind the scenes instantly disappeared. Let them fight. It's better to fight to the death. Let's go around and look. If my guess is right, Europe must have hidden Professor Fang Hua and others nearby. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, he led his soldiers to the back of the European expedition team. Several people searched around twice, but couldn't find Professor Fang Hua, and Jiang Chen felt that there were not so many people around, so he decided to catch a live person to ask. Several people turned around and returned to the mushroom forest. At this time, the battle in the mushroom forest was still going on. However, because of the fire suppression, the Japanese team of 7 or 8 people had been almost killed. At this moment, there were only 2 Japanese people on the other side of the door who were fighting stubbornly. Go, they're out of bullets. When the Japanese soldiers on the opposite side fired blanks, 5 or 6 European soldiers rushed directly towards them. The European soldiers suppressed the Japanese soldiers on the opposite side with submachine guns, and then one of them threw a grenade and directly blew up the 2 Japanese hiding behind the mushroom pillars. After killing the Japanese, several European mercenaries clapped their hands and laughed and cursed at the Japanese soldiers on the opposite side. What the asterisk. Wasting our time, this group of damn dwarfs, and killed 3 or 4 of our brothers. Okay, stop complaining here and catch up with Robert and the others. Whether we can find the ancient capital of the Salmon dynasty depends on this time. After the White Devils finished speaking, Fatty Wang had already set up a rocket launcher. With a bang, the rocket launcher flew over and directly blew the 3 mercenaries in the front into meat paste. Hide quickly. The remaining 2 mercenaries wanted to find a place to hide after they finished speaking. Fatty Wang pulled out another grenade and threw it directly over. With a loud bang, several mushroom pillars were blown down. Blow up all of you bastards. Fuck, Fatty Wang, you bastard. Did I ask you to blow them up? If you blow them up, where can we find Professor Fang Hua? Fatty Wang, this bastard, only knows how to throw bombs. He only considers the momentary pleasure and does not consider the consequences at all. You have to know that each mushroom pillar here has been formed after decades or even hundreds of years of wind erosion. You blew them down with a grenade. Do you know how much damage this will cause to this mushroom forest scenic area? After Jiang Chen finished scolding, Fatty Wang thought about it, and it was true. He threw the grenade and was only concerned about the pleasure. He really didn't think so much. It's okay, there are still a lot of mushroom pillars here. Brother Chen, I'll go see if they are dead. Fatty Wang said, and ran to the 2 European mercenaries who were pressed to the ground by the mushroom pillars. One of the 2 mercenaries died on the spot because his head was pressed down, and the other was still struggling. Help me. Where is the archaeological team you captured? Help me. Where is the person you captured? Tell me and I'll save you. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, the mercenary shook his head. That's right, if they told the truth, their leader would kill them. If you don't tell me, I'll kill you right now. After Fatty Wang finished speaking, he took out a pistol and put it against his head, but Jiang Chen sighed and said, forget it, let him go. He must have something to hide. If he doesn't tell me, Fatty Wang, let him go. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, he grabbed the wind-eroded mushroom and moved him away from the mercenary. After moving the soil away, the mercenary looked at Jiang Chen in disbelief. He never expected that Jiang Chen would actually let him go. Thank you, the mercenary said in Chinese, and Jiang Chen waved his hand to let him get out of here. The mercenary ran away while looking back and occasionally hid in the wind column. Seeing his cowardly look, Jiang Chen wanted to laugh. Brother Jiang, if we let him go like this, how can we find Professor Fang? After Brother Long finished speaking, Fatty Wang also put away his gun and muttered, yes, you are kind. He will go back and tell their captain later. Let's see how Professor Fang and the others survive. Wait, he will go back later. Brother Jiang, you are so smart. Fatty Wang, use your brain more, it's good for your health. Jiang Chen patted the mud on his hands and said, go and call Borku. Let's catch up. Let's go, hurry up and catch up. After Fatty Wang called a few people, he hurriedly ran to the entrance of the mushroom forest and called Margie and others and followed the mercenaries' footsteps into the depths of the desert. As soon as they came out of the mushroom forest, they saw a long string of footprints in the desert extending into the boundless desert, and on the sand dunes in the distance, a person was running desperately. Chapter 470. He is a man without integrity. Brother Jiang, hurry up and catch up. The direction that guy is running is exactly the direction of the ancient city. Margie on the camel looked at the map and suddenly shouted, Hearing that this guy was running in the direction of the ancient city, Jiang Chen sighed. It seems that there is no need to keep some people. Bang! A gunshot was heard in the desert, and soon the people running on the sand dunes in the distance fell to the ground. From the desert mushroom forest to the ruins of the ancient desert city, there was still an endless expanse of sand dunes in the distance. But at this moment, above the piles of high and raised sand dunes, a black cloud floated. Looking at the black cloud, Baku was frightened. He knelt on the ground in a hurry and prayed to the desert god. Respected god of the desert, we have no intention of offending your dignity. Please forgive us this time. We will leave the desert immediately. After Baku finished speaking, Fatty Wang pointed at him and shouted, "What nonsense are you talking about? Take us to the ancient city ruins." They had been in the desert for 5 days, and they had not encountered any sandstorms during these 5 days, so they had the illusion that there might not be any sandstorms at the edge of the desert. We can't go any further. We can't go any further. The sandstorm is coming soon. Look at the dark clouds in the sky. Soon the strong wind will start to blow from the dark clouds to this side. Let's go quickly. After Baku finished speaking, the dark clouds in the distance really became more and more, and then the wind around them suddenly became stronger. Where else to go? We only have one way now, that is to find the ancient city ruins quickly. Now the wind has formed in the desert, and it is impossible for you to run back to the mushroom forest. Jiang Chen looked at the wind that was gradually getting stronger in the distance. He knew that going back at this moment would only lead to death. It's not easy to find. Haven't you seen this vast desert? There is no trace of the ancient city. Let's go back. There is still hope. After Baku said this, all the camels seemed to have sensed the coming of the sandstorm, so they squatted behind the sand dunes and didn't move. We can't go back. If we go back, Professor Fang Hua and his team will really die. Once the Europa archaeological team finds the ruins of the ancient city, Professor Fang Hua and his team will have no use. They will only face death. After Ma Ji said this, Jiang Chen also nodded. No matter what, he owed Director Sun a favor. He couldn't watch Sun Mi die in the desert like this. Okay, keep going forward. No one is allowed to retreat. After Jiang Chen said this, he ordered the team to continue moving forward without thinking twice. Baku was different. He knew how strong the sandstorm was and no one could survive it. So Baku took advantage of Jiang Chen's inattention and turned around and ran back the way he came. Fatty Wang saw Baku running away, so he hurriedly took out his gun and pointed it at Baku. "Where are you running to, Baku? If you don't stop, I'll shoot you." "I won't stop. Even if you shoot me, you'll die if you stay or if you run. If you can't hit me, I still have a chance to live." After Baku shouted, Jiang Chen raised his gun and shouted at Baku, "Raise the bell in your hand and watch me blow it up with one shot. If I can hit it, you stop. If I can't hit it, just go." Baku was already dozens of meters away from Jiang Chen at this moment. When Baku heard that there was a chance to run, he hurriedly raised the bell. There was a gunshot in the desert, and the bell in Baku's hand was instantly blown up. The moment the bell was hit, Baku stopped. He knew that it was meaningless to run away. "Go, bring him to me." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Fatty Wang rode his camel and rushed towards Balbu. Without a good guide in the desert, it would be difficult for them to survive. During these 4 or 5 days, Jiang Chen realized the importance of this problem. After Wang Panzi captured Baku, a sandstorm had already formed in the distance. At this moment, the superstorm in the southwest was seen advancing towards the desert like a wall. Wherever the desert sandstorm passed, there was a dark sky and a howling wind. The strong wind seemed to tear people apart. Jiang Chen and others hid under the sand dunes. The sand dunes were whistling in the strong wind, and soon the sand pushed from afar was about to bury them. "You can't live. You can't live. You can only die if you encounter a sandstorm in the desert. This is God's will. You have provoked the desert god. The desert god has sent down God's will." Baku hid beside the camel and talked to himself. It can be seen that he was very scared. God's will? I don't believe in God's will. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, he asked everyone to close their eyes and then directly opened the phone and planted a desert villa under the sand dunes. When everyone opened their eyes, a desert villa made of special materials appeared in front of them, and everyone was stunned. Ah, a wooden house. That's great. With this wooden house, we can hide inside, to avoid the wind and sand. God, this is really a gift from God. After Baku finished speaking, Jiang Chen pointed at the house and shouted, "Stop talking nonsense, hurry up and go in. Only by avoiding this sandstorm can we continue to look for the ancient city." Jiang Chen discovered something. From the locust farm to the mushroom garden, all the way to the ruins of the ancient city, they saw swarms of desert locusts. Jiang Chen suddenly had a feeling that, if he guessed correctly, the ancient city was the base of the desert locusts. And once the ancient city was the base of the desert locusts, it meant that it was possible that the desert steel-toothed beast was hiding in the ancient desert city. If the desert steel-toothed beast is in the ruins of the ancient city, then Professor Fang Hua and his team are really in danger. It was indeed as Jiang Chen imagined. At this moment, Professor Fang Hua and his team were indeed in danger. When Jiang Chen and his team were hiding from the desert dust storm in the wooden house, the Europa archaeological team was forcing Professor Fang Hua and his team to walk on the road to find the entrance to the ancient city. This Europa expedition team did not have as much information as Professor Fang Hua and his team, so this was why they attacked Professor Fang Hua. "Hurry up, tell us where the intersection is, otherwise when the sandstorm comes, none of us will survive." After a foreigner finished speaking, Professor Fang Hua snorted and said, "Don't even think about getting the entrance from me. I'm already very satisfied to have you buried with me here today." When foreigner Yang saw that Professor Fang Hua didn't say anything, he kicked Professor Fang Hua again, and then put the gun to his head. "Speak or not, if you don't, I'll shoot you in the head." Professor Fang Hua was a man of integrity. How could he surrender? Give up on this idea? Let all of us die here today. I'll tell you, I know where the entrance is. You want to die? I don't. Chapter 471 Yellow Pig. There is no shortage of people who sacrifice themselves for justice in this world, but there is also no shortage of people who are afraid of death. Just when the Europa expedition team was about to execute Professor Fang Hua, Liu Zuan stood up in time. As soon as Liu Zuan stood up, he was despised by the archaeological team members, but he looked at them indifferently and said, "We only have one life, and everyone is here to find the ancient capital. Who cares if it's found?" Liu Zuan, you are simply the face of the Chinese. After Sun Mi finished speaking, Liu Zuan accused Sun Mi and yelled, "You are not fucking worthy of teaching me a lesson. You bitch. Don't think you are on top of the world just because someone is guarding you on the edge of the desert. When we find the ancient tomb later, I will let them hand you over to me for disposal. I want to see if you will obey me this time." After Liu Zuan finished speaking, a big-nosed foreigner pointed at Liu Zuan and said, "Tell us where the entrance is quickly. As long as you can tell us where the entrance is, I will hand this person over to you." The wind and sand in the distance were getting stronger and stronger, and people blown by the wind and sand couldn't open their eyes. If they couldn't find the entrance again, they would be buried in the entire desert along with the wind and sand. Here is the map. A few decades ago, an expedition team passed by here and saw the ancient city exposed on the ground. This map was also drawn by them at that time. Liu Zuan took out a map from his arms after he finished speaking. This map was secretly drawn according to the map in Dr. Fang Hua's hand. You traitor, you actually secretly copied my map." Fang Hua finished speaking, and a big nose rushed up and knocked Fang Hua unconscious in the desert with a rifle butt. "Hurry up and find the entrance." The captain of the Europa expedition finished speaking, and they hurriedly followed the instructions of the map and searched in the desert. The wind in the desert was getting stronger and stronger, and the people who were blown by the wind couldn't straighten their waists. Soon the captain of the Europa archaeological team determined the location of the entrance, which should be the direction of the roof that the archaeological team members saw at the beginning. "It's this piece of yellow sand. Hurry up and blow it up with a bomb." After the captain of the Europa archaeological team finished speaking, a mercenary helped to put the high explosives on the sand pile, and soon a group of people hurriedly hid behind the far sand dunes. With a boom, with the explosion of the bomb, a few meters wide area collapsed in an instant. After the large area of yellow sand sank, a large palace appeared underground. Found it, found it, finally found the ancient city of Salman Palace. A group of people shouted excitedly, and the wind and sand at this moment were about to reach them like a wall. Jump down. After the Europa archaeological team said this, more than a dozen mercenaries and the captain jumped into the palace together. When Fang Hua's expedition team also wanted to go down, a mercenary pointed the submachine gun in his hand at them. Brother, let me go down, let me go down, I'm in the same group with you. Liu Zuan saw the wind and sand coming, and he didn't care about Sun Mi and others. He hurriedly ran towards the cave in trance. However, the mercenary immediately smiled, and then he pulled the trigger. After hearing a bang, Liu Zuan's back was directly opened. After Liu Zuan was killed, a group of archaeological team members were terrified. They had thought of death when they came to the desert, but they never expected to die at the hands of others. All of you go to hell, you yellow-skinned pigs. Now that they have found the palace, they no longer need Professor Fang Hua and others. The sandstorm raged in the desert. Jiang Chen looked in the direction of the ancient city and couldn't help frowning. He didn't know whether the ancient city had been found by the Europeans, nor did he know whether Professor Fang Hua and others were still alive at this moment. Brother Chen, coming quickly, the sandstorm is coming. When the overwhelming sandstorm rushed over, Jiang Chen jumped into the wooden villa. The wind around was really strong, and every roar seemed like the roar of the devil. And the wind tore around. It blew every sand dune into the sky in an instant, and then smashed it hard on the ground. A group of people in the wooden villa listened to the sound of wind and sand hitting the roof, the sound of wind and sand hitting the wooden doors and windows. They were scared and anxious. They were afraid that the wooden house would not be able to hold up, and they would die in the desert. Time passed little by little. It was pitch black outside, and the storm was getting bigger and bigger. The sound of sand hitting the window became stronger and stronger. Suddenly, there was a loud bang, and the whole earth began to shake. Then the whole wooden house was uprooted by the strong wind. After the wooden house was uprooted by the wind, it began to roll in the desert. As the wooden house rolled, Jiang Chen and others were in a miserable state. They also rolled back and forth in the wooden house with the wind and sand. Sometimes their heads touched the floor, sometimes their heads touched the ceiling, and some people even hit their heads on the table in the house. The wooden house was covered with blood. What was more terrifying was that the sandstorm suddenly became so strong that it rolled Jiang Chen's wooden house wildly in the desert and threw it into the sky and then smashed it hard on the ground. It kept falling like this for an unknown period of time. Everyone grab the wires and tie yourself up. Although the house was shaking constantly, it must be said that the quality of the house given to it by the desert system was really damn good. No matter how the strong wind tore the wooden house remained as strong as before. Not only that, the lights in the wooden house had not been extinguished. Jiang Chen firmly grasped the pillar in the house. He opened his mobile phone and directly planted several sections of cables. After everyone grabbed the cables, they stabilized themselves. However, the sandstorm outside the window was still raging. Such a sandstorm made people feel that the world was about to end. I'm afraid that, even if the world was about to end, it would not last so long. No, it seems that the sandstorm will not stop for a while. We must do something. Jiang Chen thought of this and climbed along the cable to the door. After climbing to the door, Jiang Chen just held the door and waited for the house to stop. The house rolled in the dark for an unknown period of time. There was a clang and the house was stuck. Jiang Chen knew that the time had come. Come on, let's fight head on. Jiang Chen shouted and pushed the door open with one hand and went out directly. When everyone saw Jiang Chen actually ran out of the house, they shouted at him. Brother Chen, don't do it. Going out means death. Come in quickly. But just after a few people finished shouting, Jiang Chen had already closed the door. Although waiting in the house would not kill you, it would always be a passive position. Now Jiang Chen has a farming system, and he has discovered that this place has great tourism development value, so why would he be passive? After coming out of the door, the wind and sand outside were too strong. Although it was daytime, I couldn't see anything clearly because of the strong wind. Chapter 472 Endless Sand Mountain. A gust of wind quickly blew Jiang Chen up, but fortunately Jiang Chen was tied with cables, which were tied directly to the house. At this moment, the house was stuck between two sand dunes and could not fly out for a while. Okay, it's time to start fighting back. Jiang Chen opened his phone and clicked the planting button in the air. What he wanted to plant was not something else, but a super wind power station. This thing has a great feature, that is, it becomes stronger when it encounters strong winds. Even the strongest winds cannot blow it away, but it will make it generate more electricity. Let's go with 20 super generators. After Jiang Chen said this, he directly charged 10 billion and planted 20 super wind power stations and then arranged them side by side in the superstorm. A golden light flashed in the darkness and a row of super desert wind power stations soon appeared in front of Jiang Chen. As soon as the wind power station landed, the strong wind blew the huge fan blades of the wind power station, and the fan blades began to rotate in the wind. As the wind power station turned, the superstorm blowing from the opposite side soon wilted like an eggplant after frost. The overwhelming sandstorm was quickly converted by the wind power station into electricity that could be used for the entire Northwest for 1 or 2 years. Planting a super wind power station in the sandstorm was the best solution Jiang Chen could think of. If he planted lawns or other things, it would most likely be swept up into the sky by these superstorms, which would be a heavy loss. Finally done, Jiang Chen stood behind the super wind power station. Although there were still wisps of wind around him, these winds were already at the end of their strength, at most only 1 or 2 levels. Do you want something more powerful? Jiang Chen wondered what would happen if he planted a desert wind cannon directly. In this way, a direct shot at the desert sandstorm would probably turn the entire desert storm into a tornado and then let it roll aside. But then Jiang Chen shook his head again because he did not have the power to control the tornado. If the tornado ran to his grassland at that time, wouldn't he suffer even more losses? Forget it, it's better to be safe. Jiang Chen hid behind the desert super wind power station, waiting for the yellow sand on the opposite side to stop. It doesn't matter if he doesn't wait, but he waited for 3 days and 2 nights before the sandstorm stopped. When the wind and sand stopped, Jiang Chen stretched and walked to the super battery center on the -1st floor. After walking to the battery center, Jiang Chen found that the giant batteries under the desert super wind power station were all fully charged. Okay, this battery can supply my entire scenic area for a year, and these 20 windmills can supply the entire new province for 2 years. Now, it's time to go see the outside world, Jiang Chen said, after walking out of the desert super wind. Just after walking out of the desert super windmill power station, Jiang Chen was stunned by the magnificent desert scene in front of him. What appeared in front of Jiang Chen at this moment was a super huge sand mountain. No, not just one sand mountain, but 20 sand mountains. All these sand hills are piled up in front of the desert super wind power station. The sand hills are high and low. The highest is nearly 100 meters, and the lowest is more than 80 meters. These 2 rows look spectacular. It's true that these 20 super sand hills are connected in such a discontinuous way, which is really unique. In the future, I will plant flowers of different colors here. The 20 flower hills will definitely be an attractive attraction. Jiang Chen is engaged in tourism. He always pays attention to the natural environment around him. He also always thinks whether he can make them into a particularly famous scenic spot. After all, as long as a scenic spot is built, it will be money. Let's take a look at the situation over there, Jiang Chen said as he walked towards a sand hill. When Jiang Chen stood on the top of the sand hill, the strange scene in front of him instantly surprised Jiang Chen and made him stunned. In the distance, it turned into a vast plain that stretched as far as the eye could see. Many medieval houses appeared on the plain. Although many of the houses have collapsed, the orderly roads and the walls that emerge from the sand are still telling people about its former prosperity. A building complex with a radius of nearly 100 miles. Could this be the legendary ancient capital of the Salman dynasty? Jiang Chen took out a telescope from behind the mountain and began to observe the ancient city in front of him. There are broken houses everywhere, some of which have no foundations. Such an ancient city seems to have been severely damaged. Just as Jiang Chen was sighing, his telescope suddenly saw the endless palaces on the horizon. Those palaces still reflected a little light in the sun. From a distance, the palaces did not seem to be damaged. Imperial City? Is that ancient building the Imperial Palace? then these ruins in front of us are. If the horizon is the Imperial Palace, then these outer collapsed courtyards must be the residences of the villagers outside the city. That's great. I didn't expect that I could find the place my grandfather recorded. Wait, I don't seem to be here to find the ancient city. I'm here to save Professor Fang Hua and the others. Jiang Chen was full of worry after being surprised. Looking at the scene in front of him, Jiang Chen had already vaguely felt that Professor Fang Hua and the others might not survive. Oh my god, the storm has stopped. We are alive. We are alive. Just as Jiang Chen was worried about Professor Fang Hua and the others, he heard shouting from behind. Jiang Chen turned around and found the wooden house stuck between the desert super wind power station and the sand pile. The door of the wooden house opened, and Fatty Wang and Borku and others came out of the house. Thank you for the gift of the desert god. Thank you for the forgiveness of the desert god. Thank you for letting us pick up a life again. The first thing Borku did when he came out was to kneel down in the desert and worship. Fatty Wang and Brother Wolf had not even breathed a few breaths of fresh air when they vomited with a wail. They had been rolling around in the house for several days and nights, and they were really exhausted and almost vomited bile. Brother Jiang? Ah, look, Brother Jiang is not dead either. That's great. When a group of people saw Jiang Chen, they jumped up excitedly. At this moment, Jiang Chen was the pillar of their souls. As long as Jiang Chen was alive, they would be full of hope for life. You are still alive. How can I have the nerve to die? Jiang Chen saw Fatty Wang cursing him, and he quickly retorted. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, several people saw that they had survived, and they cried like children in joy. When they finished crying, the heartless Fatty Wang had been standing on the top of the mountain dumbfounded for a long time. That's right, the palace in the distance and the plain under his feet really stunned Fatty Wang. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 473, Get him for me. What's there? The ancient city of Salmon. Jiang Chen said calmly, but Wang Pang was not calm. Ah, this is the ancient city of Salmon. It's so big. Of course, it's their capital, isn't it? After all, they were once one of the strongest countries in the entire western region. However, now that the ancient capital of the Salmon dynasty has been found, Jiang Chen is a little troubled. This ancient city is so close to him. How to deal with it is a difficult problem facing Jiang Chen. Hand it over to his descendants? Or hand it over to the United States or China? It's definitely not okay to hand it over to their descendants, because their descendants were all wiped out by the desert. The ones that slipped through the net have long since fled to some corner of the world. Besides, even if we hand it over to them, they won't be able to manage it. It's nonsense to hand it over to the United States. What kind of place is the United States? It's a filthy place. It's even more nonsense to hand it over to them. If they knew that I was building in an unmanaged area, these people would have sent countless people to kill me. It's not okay to China either. Even if I give it to China, China doesn't want it. This is really a dilemma. So in the end, Jiang Chen only had one choice. That is, whoever finds it owns it, whoever builds it owns it. Thinking of this, Jiang Chen pointed to the palace in the distance and shouted to Fatty Wang, "Come on Fatty Wang, that's our new home. Let's go and conquer them now. Since you want to show that it is your territory, you must plant your own flag first. After all, if you don't piss next to it when occupying territory, who the hell knows whose territory it is? You must be careful, maybe the desert steel-toothed beast is hiding in there." When Jiang Chen was about to conquer the ancient city of Salmon, Brother Wolf reminded him. Jiang Chen nodded after Brother Wolf finished speaking. That's right. He almost forgot that they came to the desert to find the steel-toothed beast. Fatty Wang, bring your stuff. Now they no longer have camels, and no one knows where the camels have gone. They may really be dead. Take me with you too, so that I can see what the legendary ancient city of Salmon looks like. After Baku finished speaking, Jiang Chen took Baku and others to the palace of the ancient city of Salmon. It seemed not far from the wind power station to the palace, but it took nearly a day and a half for a group of people to reach the foot of the ancient city of Salmon. The city wall had become dilapidated under the invasion of the desert. After a few people climbed over the gap in the city wall, although the houses in the city were all ruins, even those ruins could show the prosperity of the Samana dynasty at that time. Everyone hurry up, we must get to the palace before dark. There is at least 20 to 30 miles from the city wall to the palace. The ancient city of Shaman is divided into the inner city and the outer city. Jiang Chen is talking about the city wall of the inner city. As they got closer and closer to the palace, a group of towering palaces appeared in front of them. Some of these palaces have collapsed, some have changed color, and some have no roofs. They are really dilapidated to the extreme. Wait, you hear gunshots. Just as several people were about to reach the palace, Jiang Chen heard gunshots coming from the palace. These are ancient buildings left over from thousands of years ago. They cannot be damaged at will. As Jiang Chen said this, he wanted to climb over the city wall to see what happened in the palace. Logically speaking, the Europa archaeological team and Fang Hua's archaeological team should not be able to survive after such a strong sandstorm. Brother Chen, is there a ghost in the palace? Fatty Wang said quietly behind Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen couldn't help but hit him and said, there must be a ghost. Besides, how can a ghost use a gun? That's right, could it be a modern ghost? While Fatty Wang was saying this, Jiang Chen had already jumped up and jumped onto the wall of the palace gate. The wall of the palace gate is very high. In ancient times, it was the first wall of the imperial palace. Jiang Chen could see far away from the palace wall. It must be said that standing on the city wall and looking at the courtyards of the imperial palace really gave him a solemn feeling. Standing on the city wall, Jiang Chen soon found the source of the gunshots. The gunshots seemed to come from a side hall in the imperial palace. Let's go and take a look over there. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Fatty Wang and others also climbed over the wall. Even Uncle Borku climbed up the palace wall under everyone's help. Several people walked along the stone road through the buildings with carved dragons and painted pillars, and then through the long abandoned gardens, and finally arrived at the courtyard, where the gunshots were heard. Bang, bang, bang. Jiang Chen had just climbed up someone else's wall when 2 gunshots suddenly rang out in the courtyard, and then bullets whizzed past his head. Damn it, I'll blow you to death. When Fatty Wang saw that someone dared to shoot at Jiang Chen's head, he immediately took out his hand, but Jiang Chen quickly held him back. You can't blow it up. Every inch of land here is a cultural relic. It's immoral to destroy cultural relics. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Fatty Wang put away the grenade. He ran to a wall quietly like Jiang Chen, and then looked into the courtyard. The palace where Jiang Chen was located was not built like the ancient China. All the buildings here were of Central Asian characteristics. Most of the houses here were built with mud and wood, and the roofs were round, which was unique to the ethnic characteristics. After climbing up the wall, Jiang Chen saw the source of the gunfire. There were several white people there, fighting with a group of yellow people. If Jiang Chen guessed correctly, the yellow people should be Japanese, and the white people should be Europeans. Da 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 da. The gunfire hit the ancient walls, and the broken soil flew everywhere. The fighting here was so intense that even grenades flew out, instantly turning a section of the house into ruins. Fuck, it's really not yours, so you don't feel bad about it. Fatty Wang, throw a grenade in for me, I don't want this palace anymore. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Fatty Wang pulled out a grenade and threw it into the palace without saying a word. Wolf Brother and several special forces behind Fatty Wang also followed Fatty Wang's example and threw it in. A rumbling sound was heard, and soon a small palace in front of him was blown up in the ruins. When this palace collapsed, a palace in the distance also collapsed with a plop. Go see if there's anyone alive in there. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Fatty Wang walked towards the ruins holding a submachine gun. As soon as they walked onto a piece of ruins, they felt something moving underneath the ruins. Fatty Wang moved the collapsed wooden sticks and the dirt away without saying a word. Sure enough, there was a living big nose underneath. Brother Jiang, we found a survivor here. After Fatty Wang pulled the big nose out of the dirt, the big nose looked at Fatty Wang weakly and pointed to the ruins around him, as if he wanted Fatty Wang to save his companions. They are from the Europa expedition team. Brother Jiang, Dr. Fang Hua was captured by them. Chapter 474. Let's put an end to it. You heard that Dr. Fang Hua was captured by this group of people. Jiang Chen wanted to kill Big Nose directly. However, if he was killed, how could he ask about the whereabouts of Dr. Fang Hua? Where are Dr. Fang Hua and the others? Jiang Chen picked up Big Nose and asked. Hearing that Jiang Chen was looking for Dr. Fang Hua, Big Nose shook his head. You don't want to tell me, right? Okay, just kill him. Let's go to the palace to find Dr. Fang Hua. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Fatty Wang took out a pistol and pointed it at Nose's head. Seeing that Fatty Wang wanted to shoot him, Big Nose hurriedly shook his head and said with a slight breath, "They have been killed by mercenaries." What? Killed by mercenaries? Where are those mercenaries now? After Jiang Chen finished speaking, although he had thought of this result, he couldn't help feeling a little sad. He didn't know how to explain to Director Sun when he returned. Speaking of the whereabouts of the mercenaries, Big Nose pointed to the main hall in the center of the palace complex. Bang! With a gunshot, Jiang Chen directly blew up the guy's head. That's right, Jiang Chen is such an unrighteous person. It can't be said that way. He just never talks about morality to his enemies, because Jiang Chen firmly believes in one truth, that being kind to the enemy is cruel to oneself. Brother Chen, he said it. Why did you kill him? If we don't kill these people, then we may be the ones who die next time. Go to the hall in the middle. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, several people followed Jiang Chen through the palaces and walked towards the highest hall in the palace. In the desert in the evening, the weather began to get cooler, and so did the palace. Especially when the night was about to fall, a crescent moon hung on the glazed tiles of the palace, which made the quiet palace more lonely. Brother Jiang, look at how many locusts there are here. Maybe this is the base of the locusts. After Wang Pangzi finished speaking, at this moment, with the arrival of evening, the entire palace was full of desert locusts. These locusts drilled out from all directions, and they were black and dense. Yes, this should be the nest of this group of locusts. Jiang Chen nodded. Indeed, although they encountered many locusts along the way, they had never seen such a dense concentration of locusts in the palace. There were so many locusts that you would step on a few to death every time you took a step. No, we can't go forward. The road ahead has been blocked by locusts. Brother Wolf said, and he kept waving the knife in his hand. When the locusts flew over, they were stabbed to death in the sky by Brother Wolf like bats. Looking at the locusts that kept coming out of the darkness, Jiang Chen was more certain. This is definitely the base of desert locusts in the desert. If so, then the desert steel-toothed beast must be here too. Everyone be careful, this palace has been buried in the wind and sand for thousands of years. We don't know what has changed in such a long time, and I feel that the steel-toothed beast is here. So from now on, everyone should be very alert. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, a group of people stood behind Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen held a knife and swatted away the flying desert locusts while rushing towards the palace. When several people bypassed the stone path between the palaces and rushed to the council hall in the center of the palace complex, Jiang Chen saw several familiar figures in the evening afterglow. Fuck, they are still alive. I didn't expect that bastard James was killed by them. Don't even think about stealing cultural relics from the Salmon King city. If you know what's good for you, get out of the desert now. This group of Europeans is very annoying, especially the evil expedition leader. It's more appropriate to say that they are robbers than an expedition team. Let us get out of the desert. Have you been blown silly by the wind and sand? The people standing at the door of the hall at this moment were none other than Professor Fang Hua and his group. The group of Europeans standing in the hall opposite Professor Fang Hua were the European expedition team that captured them. Don't waste your time talking to them. Shoot them quickly. After the captain of the European archaeological team said this, more than a dozen mercenaries in the hall pointed their guns at Professor Fang Hua and his group. Professor Fang, hurry up. Leave this to us and go to the desert scenic area to ask for reinforcement. Even if we can't get the ancient city of Salmon, we must not let these European bandits get away with it. After an archaeologist finished speaking, gunshots rang out in the hall. As the gunshots rang out, two archaeologists soon fell to the ground. Seeing this, the other archaeologists hurriedly hid beside the stone lions at the door of the store. The bullets hit the stone lions, and sparks flew. Seeing that Fang Hua and the others were not dead, Margie excitedly shouted to Fang Hua, Professor Fang, you are not dead, it's great. Professor Fang and the others heard Jiang Chen's shouting, and they looked back, and were also stunned. Jiang Chen? Why are you here? Margie, didn't you fall into the quicksand? How are you still alive? Professor Fang Hua thought he was hallucinating. You know, if you fall into the quicksand and no one rescues you, it is a death sentence. Don't go over there, there's something going on the other side. When Margie wanted to run towards Professor Fang, Jiang Chen stopped him. Jiang Chen also saw Sun Mi's beautiful figure in the crowd. He was also happy, and he could finally give an explanation to Director Sun. But at this moment, his sixth sense told him that the desert giant beast was coming. Sure enough, at the moment, when Jiang Chen stopped Margie, several people suddenly felt the sound of the earth shaking. Then there was a loud bang, and a Europa mercenary who shot at the stone lion was instantly eaten by a monster that came out of the ground. After the monster ate the Europa expedition team, it fell to the ground with a plop. When the behemoth fell to the ground, it shook the ground. Brother Chen, look, that guy is missing one of his hind legs. It's the steel-toothed beast we let go last time. When Jiang Chen saw the steel-toothed beast, he finally breathed a sigh of relief. As long as he killed the steel-toothed beast, he would have solved a knot in his heart. However, it is not easy to kill this steel-toothed beast. Hide first, it must be the Europa mercenaries who fired and attracted its attention. Let's let the Europa mercenaries fight it first, and then we will attack, after they consume each other. Jiang Chen finished speaking, and Fatty Wang nodded. He had fought with the steel-toothed beast, so he knew how powerful it was. However, the Europa team members in the distance had never seen this thing, and they didn't know how powerful it was. When they first saw the steel-toothed beast, the group of Europeans were not only not afraid, but excited. They had never seen this thing before, which meant that no one else had seen it either. If this thing was transported back to Europe, then they would really make a fortune on this trip. Chapter 475. Escape means death. Everyone has a desire to seek novelty, and Europeans are particularly outstanding in this regard. So when several Europeans saw the steel-toothed beast, they immediately became interested. Professor Fang Hua, hurry over here. While the Europeans and the steel-toothed beast were fighting, Jiang Chen hurriedly shouted to Professor Fang Hua and the others. Professor Fang Hua hurriedly led a few people to Jiang Chen's side. After a group of people gathered, Jiang Chen took them to hide under the rockery in the garden. Why are you here? Are you here to save us? No, we are here to catch. Before Fatty Wang finished speaking, Jiang Chen pinched him hard, and Wang Fatty screamed in an instant. That's right, I was worried that you would encounter danger in the desert, so I brought my brothers to pick you up. Sure enough, my guess was right. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, he couldn't help but give himself a thumbs up. That's right, he came to find the steel-toothed beast, but didn't they change their minds halfway? This Fatty Wang is too bad at talking. Thank you so much. Professor Fang Hua held Jiang Chen's hand and burst into tears. He never expected that Jiang Chen, who had only met them once, would abandon such a prosperous place and run to this uninhabited desert to save them. This kindness really touched them. Humph, you said you don't care about us, but you still came here obediently? Sun Mi looked at Jiang Chen and said that. Jiang Chen became a little embarrassed. This guy didn't think he came to save her, did he? What are you thinking? I said I came to save you, but I just wanted to take this palace for myself. Wait, when did I become so dirty? Did I want to take the palace for myself? Not at all. I just wanted to use my ability to transform it, build it, and make it better serve the people. Okay, let's stop talking. Everyone get ready, and wait for the opportunity. The sound of fighting in the distance became louder and louder. Although the desert steel-toothed beast was huge, it was extremely agile when it moved. However, each of the Europa expedition members was also quite capable, and the weapons and equipment in their hands were no less than those of Jiang Chen and his team. Da da da. The entire entrance of the hole was filled with the sound of bullets flying everywhere, and a string of bullets hit the steel-toothed beast. But to everyone's surprise, the bullets hit the steel-toothed beast, as if they hit a steel plate, and they couldn't do anything to this guy at all. No, use grenades, we can't catch this thing. After 3 members were eaten by the steel-toothed beast in a row, the curious Europeans finally realized that this thing was not easy to deal with. So they prepared to kill this guy instead of capturing it alive. After the captain of Europa finished speaking, everyone's bullets were fired at the steel-toothed beast. The steel-toothed beast was also angry. It didn't want to provoke humans anymore, so it hid in this ancient city and lived on desert locusts every day. But this group of people didn't let it go and actually ran to the desert to find it. Do you think it can't be angry? Click. The desert steel-toothed beast bit the pillar in the palace with one bite, facing the flying bullets. The pillar in front of the palace had long been rotten after being attacked by the desert again and again, so the steel-toothed beast bit down and directly crushed the pillar and the 2 Europa archaeologists hiding behind the pillar. What on earth is that thing? How can it be so powerful? Its skin is really thick. And look at its teeth. Its teeth are so long and so sharp. It is really more powerful than all the knives I have seen. Sunmi finished speaking, but then shook her head. It's true, if it was put in the past, it thought that the teeth of this thing were the sharpest. However, just a few days ago, she suddenly pulled out a dagger and cut the Europa mercenary's gun and the person in half, and she felt that the dagger in his hand was the sharpest thing in the world. I don't know which one is more powerful, the dagger in my hand or its teeth. Sunmi said this and took out the shining dagger from her trouser leg. Looking at the dagger, Fatty Wang and Jiang Chen felt awkward. Is there any need to compare? They must be equally sharp. After all, this thing is made of the teeth of that thing. Look over there, those Europeans can't hold on any longer. Brother Wolf pointed at the palace gate. At this moment, there were still 5 or 6 mercenaries holding guns and shooting at the palace gate. Seeing that they were about to retreat into the palace, Jiang Chen became anxious instantly. The hall behind them was the most majestic and magnificent hall in the entire palace, and it was also the hall with the most cultural value. If these people were allowed to go in, and the steel-toothed beast tossed around inside again, it would be strange if the hall didn't collapse. Shoot. We can't let them lead the steel-toothed beast in. After Jiang Chen said this, several Sahara special forces who had long been aiming at the European expedition team members started shooting. The 3 desert special forces were very accurate in shooting. They were the best of the Sahara army, and all the people in the Sahara army were the best of the best in China, so they were the best of the best. Da. After a few gunshots, several Europa explorers who wanted to hide in the palace fell to the ground. As if they could not feel the breath of the Europa explorers, the steel-toothed beast stopped attacking. Although the steel-toothed beast did not rush into the palace, it turned around and walked towards the rockery. It's over, that thing is coming towards us. Several archaeologists were a little scared. Seeing the steel-toothed beast coming towards them, they turned around and ran out of the palace. Seeing someone running, Jiang Chen hurriedly shouted, "Don't run, stop." But in the face of death, people's subconscious is to run away. How could Jiang Chen stop them? Pa. Jiang Chen heard the huge sound of the steel-toothed beast's feet on the floor, and then the steel-toothed beast jumped up like a big fish and instantly bit the slowest archaeologist. Snap. After hearing a crisp sound, the steel-toothed beast instantly ate the escaping archaeologist. After the steel-toothed beast killed one person, the other archaeologists who were escaping ran faster. They soon led the steel-toothed beast out of the palace to another wide martial arts arena. When Jiang Chen and others saw that the steel-toothed beast was led out, he also helped to chase it with Fatty Wang. After chasing it to the martial arts arena, the steel-toothed beast had eaten all 5 or 6 archaeologists who had escaped. After eating so many people, the steel-toothed beast burped, and Fang Hua and others in the moonlight were so scared that they broke out in cold sweats. What kind of monster is this? Fang Hua said with some fear. Jiang Chen looked back and saw that only Sun Mi and another assistant in his 30s were left behind. Dr. Fang Hua. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.